Hello, the internet. It is Saturday, the 25th of January, 2025. Ooh, 2025. And welcome back to the channel. Is that 2025? 2025. Yeah. We don't have 25 months. I was going to say it can't be 25. Hey, a little while ago, I stopped using Restream, I still use it, but I stopped paying for it. So I've just got the free level of Restream. And, we haven't really done many panel discussions in a little while. So it hasn't really bothered me that I haven't had the feature or the functionality to be able to do panel streams. And I was talking about it that I still obviously want to have discussions, want to have people call in. And someone said to me, did you know you can do them using Discord? So you can have a panel discussion using Discord into OBS. Now, I kind of did know about that. I knew that that was loosely a possibility. And I think we dabbled in trying it one time before. And then I forgot about it. I think that's when I went and just invested in Restream. But what I want to do now, because I don't have Restream, and this feature doesn't seem like it's a feature in beamstream.gg. By the way, I'm over on YouTube right now. If you're watching on Beam, jump on over to the YouTube stream if you want to hang out. So I want to reinvestigate what the setup looks like and how it works to be able to use panels, or at least get guests in on Discord and into OBS for streaming. And with that in mind, I have found 3 different videos on YouTube, all from different eras. This is 4 years old. This next one is 3 years old. And this most recent one is 1 year old. So I feel like we can automatically get rid of this one from 4 years ago because things have changed. We'll just take these 2. This one is from 3 years ago, and then we'll do the update as how to get guests to OBS for free for 1 year ago. Now, I already kind of have a loose idea of how this works. You obviously need to, you need to route your audio from Discord, from Discord into OBS. I'm on a Mac, so using Loopback, that should be pretty straightforward. I think the potential issue we might run into is, and I know me, and you that watch know me as well, I'll want to perfect it, and I'll also want to use that feature or that functionality inside of like a wieners game, a cap game, music game. And so then I'll want to have music piped in, and I will want to make certain that the guests can hear the alerts and all that kind of stuff. So there will be some finessing and some tweaking. And I kind of want to do this on this very stream. I want to I'm looking for someone who wants to call in, is what I'm saying. Once we've watched these videos and we know that that's how it's done, perhaps there's a plugin that I need. I don't know about that. That might throw a spanner in the works. Oh no, if I can stop and restart Discord. I just can't stop and restart OBS. We'll see, but I'd like to sort of maybe have someone call in. Maybe, I don't know, if someone can wake up Dale. I don't know if he's frozen over there in Florida. It's snowing in Florida, right? Damn, dude. If Dale's watching, maybe later on, I don't know. But either way, I just want to look into this, and I want to investigate how people are using Discord in OBS specifically for video panel discussions. So I'm just talking about using split screens of maybe 3 or 4 guests. How we used to do it in Restream. People use StreamYard. People use, I think Ecamm used to be able to do it as well. We used to do something similar on CreatorCast, but we did it, all in video form after the fact, I guess. So let's take a look at this first video here. It's from a channel called Toasty DIY. How to add a guest to your stream with Discord and OBS.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Matt.
Hey. Hey, how's it going?
Here from Toasty DIY, and I'm here with a very quick tutorial on how you can add a guest to your live stream. So recently we moved to a new office and we had no internet, so Jackson and I had to do our morning live stream over on twitch.tv/ToastyBros at home. And as you can see on screen here, I was able to do a side-by-side video feed where it looked like, well, we were just sitting in the same area. Well,
that looks cool. I mean, that's a panel discussion.
Not really, but we were on the same stream together, and I was able to do that using OBS. And it's actually very simple to do, but you do need one or two things to make this happen. One, you most likely need a second monitor. A third monitor is ideal, but having two monitors is pretty much...
Check, check, check. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Essential in making this work, and what I'm going to do is demonstrate how to do it. And honestly, it's not as complicated as you might think. Now, if you are using Discord, which is, well, what I'm going to be using, or pretty much any video call app, this is pretty much the exact same method I would recommend. Now, I do know that Skype uses OBS NDI or NDI plugin, which allows you to just add it as a source into OBS. We're not going to be covering that in today's video because I know a lot of people like to use Discord, and I figured Discord would be the best option for this sort of feature. So what we're going to do is just show you how to do that, and it's pretty simple. All right, so now that we have Streamlabs OBS pulled up, you can see
Streamlabs OBS? I mean, people still use that 3 years ago. No one's using that anymore, are they? Nobody uses slobs anymore. Surely not. Why would you? Why would you pay for it when it's free? Anyway, I hope this is not specific to Streamlabs OBS.
It right here. I'm actually recording using it right now, so, well, just bear with me. What we're going to do is add a display capture. Now, this is where having two monitors is pretty much essential. What I'm going to be doing...
Display capture. I've seen that down here and haven't touched it. Display. No, wait, no. No, I have used that. Obviously, I'm capturing the display right now. It's not. The layout's. Okay. The capture card, display capture. The layout's different on slobs, I guess.
Is adding a new display capture. Now, in theory, if you're wanting to just have the cameras on screen and you don't care about showing your desktop, then yeah, you could probably get away with one monitor. But what we're basically doing is screen capping our second monitor, which I have another monitor right here, which we're going to call this one, we'll just call it guest, just for the sake of remembering what it is. And we're going to add my second monitor, which is actually a portrait monitor. As you can see right here, it's, well, very, very long. So what we're going to do actually is just kind of make a little demo real quick, because I don't have anybody to actually hop on a call with me for this. So I'm going to get let's open up Paint. We're gonna have fun with this, all right? And we're going to make a little smiley face, all right? Here is our guest, and we're gonna move our guest over here. Now, you might understand what I'm getting ready to do here. What we're basically doing is leaving that scene right there. Imagine that is a Discord video call, and you just have the video call popped up, and all you need to do is, well, line it up with the display capture, and we're gonna...
Is that all it is, dude? And then I've got to route the audio? That's not... I mean... I guess I haven't really investigated Discord video calls, but if that's all it is, I mean, it's pretty damn straightforward, right? Didn't really need to dedicate a stream to this.
What you use is hold Alt on your keyboard and then use your mouse to basically shrink down this scene to fit to this certain area. So again, you hold the Alt key and you click on one of these boxes up here or at the bottom, and what you're going to do is just kind of, well, shrink this until you have just the smiley face. And in my situation, I have a portrait monitor, so it requires a lot more work. We're gonna hold Alt.
So it's just transforming
here. There's my smiley face. And look at that. In theory, this could be a guest that I can just resize, put it right there, and boom, there it is. You see how it works. It's really simple to do, and it allowed us to get a really nice, clean, professional looking live stream. I know Linus Tech Tips with their WAN show, they probably do a similar thing. Just having a second monitor for you to do a display capture on works really well. And as I mentioned, having two monitors, maybe three monitors is really ideal if you don't want to dedicate like a small corner of your screen to this, well, cut out of whatever video call you're having. Because again, if you go back here, just to make sure you understand, if you go back here and you move it around at all, look, it's gone and we're back to the desktop. So you want to make sure it's in a spot where you can actually leave it, and then it works perfectly fine for calls. So that was it. Very quick tutorial.
Okay, I thought there's going to be more to it than that. I mean, let's just check this most recent one from 1 year ago, a channel called Michael Ferreira Jr. Let's take a look.
Adding a guest to an OBS stream is not difficult. There are apps out there that can help make it really easy to do, and they're totally free. Pretty much any number of guests as well. Let me show you how to do it today.
Wow.
So you know what? Let's get to it!
Wow. Really? Really? I just cringed a little.
The app I want to show you today is called VDO.Ninja. It's a totally free open source program that makes it easy to add as many guests as you want to your live stream. It also makes it easy for your guests to connect their cameras, microphones, and they can even connect with nothing more than their cell phone. There are links in the description if you want to check it out.
Why do I know VDO.Ninja? Where have we heard this before? Somewhere in the past, and I'm not talking about Digital Ninja from Victoria. There's some reason I know VDO.Ninja.
Let me show you how to set it up. So here we are on the VDO.Ninja, and for the purposes of what we're going to do, we're going to create a room. And you just want to
But is this all browser based, is it? Is this all done in the browser? Yeah, he's on VDO.Ninja. I guess we should have a look at this while he's doing it. I'll just pull up VDO. I mean, you probably have a link in the description down below. Like, share, and subscribe. Smash that like button. Please use my referral. What is VDO.Ninja? 100% free, no downloads, no personal data collection, no sign-in. Bring live video from your smartphone, remote computer, or friends directly into OBS. This sounds like the way to do it. We use cutting-edge peer-to-peer forwarding technology that offers privacy and ultra-low latency. YouTube video demoing it here. We'll open that up as well, skins. Known issues. OBS version 31.0. I just updated today. What OBS am I on? About OBS 31.0. Shit. Hang on a second. It says the most current version does not support VDO.Ninja if it's in an iframe. I don't use iframes. I don't think I use iframes. Aye. There's another app there that's an alternative. Some browsers using Chromium v130 are causing cameras to crash randomly, and use that app instead. Well, I'm using the Firefox browser right now, but I can use the Brave browser. Starting OBS in admin mode has resolved a couple of recent user issues. Okay. Welcome to VDO.Ninja. We've rebranded. Nothing else is changing, and we're staying 100% free. Last major update on October 15. You can also still access. Okay, so, okay. Well, look, 2 years ago, but this person's telling us about it anyway. So let's go back to Michael Freya Cringe Machine.
Purposes of what we're going to do, we're going to create a room, and you just want to put your room name in here. In my case, we're going to call this one OBS Michael, and we can put an optional password. I don't mess around with any of this stuff. Now I'm going to enter the room under the director's role, and then the first thing I'm going to do is go down and customize a couple of things here. I want to go ahead and show display names so that the people that are there know who they're talking to and all that good stuff.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Down here and enable my video camera. Now, if you don't get anything that comes up here, you could go ahead and bring this up. You can select your video source, your audio source, and how you're listening to your guests, which would be your headphones, hopefully. Any digital video or anything like that, you can apply that.
Wow.
There's all kinds of really, really cool stuff that you can do, including using virtual backgrounds or applying just an anonymous mask or an icon or something like that. If you
Did this come out during COVID?
really like to, you can
All those fake backgrounds to pretend you're not where you're not meant to be.
also add your own solo link. But I'll
Hey
show you
Flowski, how you doing, man? Flowski, we're over on the YouTube machine, but I see you there in the Kick chat and the D-Live chat, and on the Beam stream. You use VDO.Ninja. Was it you that sort of said you can use OBS? You can use Discord for call-ins. I think it might have been you because I'm looking at it. So thank you if it was.
do that later. Now we are all set up. We want to go ahead and click here so that we can make sure that everyone hears us. And now all we have to do is add guests. And in order to do that, the link that we're going to use is this one right here. So you just copy your link and then email it.
I mean, this is pretty sick. This is just like Restream for free.
However you want to get it to all of your users, that's all you have to do is send it that way. So let me go ahead and message my users to let them know that we are ready to go. This is what the guest sees. They're going to get a link, and when they click that link, it will come up to this here, join room with camera. And it automatically selects a camera and a microphone, but you can go ahead and use drop downs to change it if you like. And then you can also test it. Once your camera's ready to go, it will pop up here and it will say start. And once you click start, it will just pop you into this room here, and it will be populated by everyone else who's in the room as well. And really, it's that simple for a guest to connect. It doesn't matter whether they're using their cell phone or a webcam or a professional camera, whatever they're using. In this case, Michael's using a webcam and Trevor is using a professional camera. The connection is going to be the same. So we should have our guests connecting any moment now.
Flowski, you notice your chat panel isn't showing on stream, or at least it's not updating? No. So the chat, and I'm going to change this. Coming up in August, when my YouTube channel celebrates 10 years, I'm going to be making everything the same. But right now, this is my YouTube stream. So I don't actually have the beamstream.gg UniChat plugged in over the top. It's just the YouTube stream chat. That's why when I do a YouTube stream, I always tell people to come over to YouTube to chat. And the reason I do a weekly, I stream more than weekly, but I do one stream every week on YouTube. It's mainly, the way this kind of became a thing was because most live streaming platforms remove the VODs after a certain amount of time. And there are certain streams that I do that I want to be evergreen searchable, such as something like this, like having a panel discussion using OBS and Discord. And I want this to be on YouTube as a VOD. So I've always dedicated one stream a week to this setup of YouTube. But as the years have gone on, oh, by the way, it's also because of the jack behind me. Every 10 streams on YouTube, we would crack open the jack. That's every 10 streams. But I feel like as the years have gone on, and because there's been so many different platforms come and go, platforms start, platforms finish, I've just decided, or I slowly decided, that in the 11th year of my channel, so coming up in August, late August, when my channel celebrates 10 years, I'm going to reformat everything and just make it one, so that you yahoos won't even know that it's a YouTube stream. It'll just be a stream. And sometimes I'll keep them on the VODs on YouTube, and other times I'll delete them. So yeah, I'm going to do that. And I was also thinking about rebranding, not changing the Gives a Minute brand, but changing the logo, changing the colors, changing everything to a new format, a new 10-year change format. But then, as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, I freaking well love my logo. Maybe the font here can change. I'm happy to change the font, but I love the superhero logo. So I'm probably not going to do that. I'm always changing things though, always thinking about differences and how to perfect it. And yeah, I don't know, I just feel like at the 10-year mark, it seems like an anniversary time should be the right time to do that. If there's ever going to be a time to make a big change, on the 10-year mark would be the most optimum time to do that. I don't know if people might not like it. People might hate it. If I changed the channel branding and I didn't use Gives a Minute, then that would be a problem. But I don't know. I won't be doing that. Gotcha. Thank you, Flo. Cheers. Yeah. And I do think it was you that suggested we look into having guest panels on OBS. Just got to put this AC back on. Let's continue on with this video machine.
And there we got Trevor. So we can click right here and we can label so that we know and everyone else knows who they are. And then we can lock that up. And Trevor is number one.
That's cool.
Of course.
That's the green room, I guess.
And we're just waiting for Michael to connect.
New camera angle. You noticed it. Yeah. I threw that in. I just make use of another GoPro I've had sitting around. I bought a cheap capture card. I don't even know the brand. It's like an Elgato knockoff, just a little USB thing. And it's got latency. It's pretty crappy. The image looks garbage, but I thought I'd just throw it in there. And it might not keep it, but
Same thing, add a label, and boom, we can lock that up, and Michael is number 2. There we go. Okay, so I have Trevor and I have Michael in here, and we're gonna open up OBS over here. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna create a guest scene. So I'm just gonna click the plus and I'm gonna create a new scene. Actually, we're gonna do that under our scenes window. And we'll call this one guests. And we'll click OK. And then all I have to do is go over into our VDO.Ninja over here, and I can copy Michael's link right here. And then when I go into OBS,
oh no way, it's a browser plugin.
And we're gonna go to browser.
Oh wow!
And I will just call this one Michael.
It comes in as a browser plugin.
Okay.
Gee, that's cool.
And then I can copy my browser source in here.
No shit.
And we want to make it 1920 by 1080, and we're gonna use control audio via OBS so that we get Michael's audio, and we can click OK, and you're gonna see there we have Michael right there.
So it's pulling in a video source from a browser source, which makes sense. Is there a way to just pull in the room? Hey, we'll see. It looks like comments with VDO.Ninja get blocked. Are you commenting? How are you commenting through VDO.Ninja? I didn't know you commenting.
And we can go ahead and shrink him or make him bigger, or whatever we want to do. And then I'm going to click the plus, and we're going to add Trevor. So we go.
I like this idea that he's got here with the browsers, but I don't like. Oh, you mean if you use the word VDO.Ninja? Oh, really? I've not got any blocks to any words on YouTube. Huh. That's weird, dude. See if I can type it. That's very weird. So you just typed VDO.Ninja. Oh no, it's probably because it's a URL. It's because it's a. I think anything with a dot is a URL. Try anything at anything, anything.com. I mean, I can type it, but I don't think anything with a dot in it is blocked on YouTube. I didn't set that up, by the way. Yeah, but what I was saying, what I don't like about this is, does this remember each browser plugin, each browser source captured? And is it related to, in this video, is these browser sources always the same because they're locked? And whoever comes in using the first link defaults to this URL? I hope so, because I'd hate to have to go in and every single time and add this to OBS, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be better to just have, so this is the first slot, and there's a maximum, by the look of it, of 4. This is the first slot. Whoever the first guest is automatically defaults to this URL. So when you've got your OBS cranked up and ready to roll, it's always the same URL and it's populated by whoever. Or can you copy the room link? I don't know. We'll see.
Click OK. And then all I have to do is go over into our VDO.Ninja over here, and I can copy Michael's link right here. And then
you can choose the room names. It's best to use a unique ID, otherwise someone else can take it over. Yeah, but what I mean is, does it always need to be redone every stream? Like, if in this case Michael and Trevor, if they drop off, is that URL no longer valid now? And when a new guest comes in, you've got to go back through OBS and open up another browser source and add that to OBS and rescale it? Or is it the same one that gets reused? I hope it's the same one that's over and over.
When I go into OBS, what I'm going to do is click the plus, and we're going to go to browser. And
so you see this,
I will just call
this would be super cumbersome to have to do every single time.
Call this one Michael. And click OK.
I'd rather just call that guest 1, guest 2, guest 3, guest 4, and have them allotted in their spot, and whoever populates those rooms fills those spots.
And then I can copy my browser source in here, and we want to make it 1920 by 1080.
I'm not 100% sure on that calling situation. As long as the URL doesn't change, you'll not have to update it. Yeah, okay. So I think you are answering what I'm saying, and I guess this is cool. We're just learning about it.
And we're going to use control audio via OBS. And then I have to go back into VDO.Ninja and get Trevor's link, which is this one right here. And we'll go into our OBS and we'll paste that link in here. 1920 by 1080, and use audio control via OBS, and boom. So now there we go, and we can yeah, full screen. We'll make that there and we'll put that there. Obviously you're gonna have to play around with the sizes here, or you can just make them 1/4 the size if you know what that is. What we would obviously want to do is add your camera. So we'll go into video capture device, and we should already have our main camera in here, which we do. We can just add that in, shrink it up, and there we go. Now we've got 3 people in one chat room. Super simple and easy to set up, and you can see that their audio is in here. Go ahead and say something, Michael. There we go. And Trevor.
We can't hear it.
So there we go. You guys can't hear what they're saying, but I can tell you that the audio is working. I'm hearing it right in here. It's really that simple to add guests. Now there's also a really cool feature that you can do by just adding the group. So I can click the plus right here.
Here we go.
And I can go to our browser source, and I can just label it guests and click OK. And we'll set it to 1920 by 1080.
He's going to now get a URL that includes all of them, hopefully.
And we're going to use our audio control, and all we have to do is go over here and get this link right here, the capture group scene.
Oh, it's right there.
And we'll go over here and we'll paste that capture group scene in here.
Now, of course, the problem with that, or the concern you have with that, is you don't have individual audio control.
And click OK. And that puts both of our guests in here at the same time. You can just move them up. And Trevor is being held against his will, as you can see. And I can add my camera in here.
However, there would be an interesting way to get around that by wangling it and having, you could have like separate scenes from the individual panels and just not display the video from it, but then take the guest room and add all the individual audio underneath it. That's how I'd do it. That's how I'm gonna do it if we decide to do this, which I think we will.
And there we go. And you will notice,
because I've got the Stream Deck Plus with the rotating dials, and it'd be so sick to be able to just rotate up and down. Yeah, you know what I mean, Flo? Like, yeah, good idea. Like have a scene that has the video and the audio from the individuals, but just don't display the video, and then have the video and the audio, and then, yeah, of course. So easy. That's easy.
The audio now, no matter which guest talks, you're only getting it through one audio feed, and that's the downside of using group.
Bingo, bingo.
So they can both talk, but it only gets one feed. Whereas if we load them in individually, each individual can talk. I can adjust their audio volume.
Now, I wonder what happens with, and we'll watch this other video as well, but I wonder what happens with, what's it called? VDO.Ninja when more guests arrive. Does it automatically populate the spaces bigger and make them smaller? Because that'd be so sick.
Or even mute one of those audio volumes if we have a rowdy guest or something like that. So I generally tend to think that
and if you bring in your own, if you're putting all of them on screen on the full width of the screen and your video is separate, see, now if someone else joins, what happens? Because you're using, because the guy in the blue background here, his isn't in the smart grid. Thank you, Flo. Smart grid, yeah. So the creator of this video is not in the smart grid. So if you bring in everybody else and that populates around you, you've got to make sure that you flow with that. I wonder what happens there.
The solo ad right here is better than using.
So can you add yourself to the guest room? I wonder.
The group ad. But that's, you know, you do you. See, I told you it was easy.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be streaming guests for some awesome segments.
Pretty easy. Here we go. Video has some great tricks indeed. The real power comes when you start to manually add parameters to the URL. For example, if you want to add a limiter by default, a very good thing to do, then add limiter to the URL. Why would you do that? I'm not sure what that's for. Others, I think, must use AC because one, make everyone comes in the room with a mono signal. EQ enables the control room for EQ for guests so that you can adjust them if needed. Avatar lets them select an image. Cool. More deep dive. I used this app a while back when it was OBS.Ninja and couldn't get the audio part to work. Looks like it's more polished. Interesting. Live stream the DJ. Is it possible for a guest to share their screen? Flowski, it's insanely customizable. You can go down to a rabbit hole and find out it can do just about anything imaginable. It's almost overwhelming. Dude, so hang on. This isn't using Discord though. This isn't touching Discord at all. Well, I was going to try to use Discord. That doesn't use Discord even remotely. I don't need Discord. Don't need my air conditioning on either. Interesting. I don't think I need Discord then. Great guide. I have one problem. My guests can't see me. It's either or. You can put them into Discord, I guess. Interesting. I want to get a deep dive into VDO.Ninja. Mostly what group capacity? As in, can you see you can see your face and not just a small dot. And the time limit when I'm using Skype. Are free to join 50 people at one time, 4-hour window. Nobody answered. Doesn't work for me. I can't have my mic and camera working on both OBS and Ninja. I can only have one or the other. Interesting. Is there a way to make the third screen a desktop? Very interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea. You can add yourself as a guest, which would put you in the grid as well. Sick, Flo. That's exactly what I wanted, man. Rad, dude. I'm going to definitely check this out. Say I wanted to record a video and have them see what I see in the live timeline. How does that work? A deeper dive. This person's running into an issue with the camera. I only have my laptop camera. Flowski, when you create a room, there's the option the director will be forming as well, appearing in group scenes. Oh, that's so sick, dude. How would you do it? Set it up so that the guests can see what you are streaming. Interesting. Another person with that same issue, they can't use their camera for both VDO.Ninja and OBS. This person says they can't do screen captures for the guests. It's a shame. That seems like a pretty big boo-boo. How does the guest see the stream in real time while being featured so they interact and respond to happening in the live? You can share your display in VDO.Ninja. Hey, Fast Abdul, how you doing? I'm here for the tech. How you doing, buddy? I'm here for the insane price charts. Okay, so by the way, Fast Abdul, do you know? I know you're obviously streaming a lot with Matty Allen. Is he using StreamYards or does he use something like this for guests, for panel discussions, call-ins? I'm looking at this VDO.Ninja, video. I want to say VOD, but it's VDO.Ninja. I used to use Restream and I'm no longer paying for it. And so it's kind of lame. So I'm thinking about trying to use this. or at least I'm learning about it. And I wondered what Matty Allen does. So a lot of people asking for a deep dive. I don't think he did it. EV Mux. Fast Abdul, most of the influencers use StreamYards. I only know one other than you that doesn't. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. I mean, I did look into StreamYards, and then obviously you've got to pay for it as well. So StreamYards, if I was to pay for it, I might as well go back to paying for Restream and use it. You know what I mean? Like I already had that rolling quite successfully or quite happily. And the only reason I stopped using it was because I figured beamstream.gg does all the Restream stuff, except that it doesn't do the panel discussions and the groups and all that other cool stuff. But that might be coming at some point soon. I don't know. There's talk about maybe they'll be integrating with that in their setup as well. Who knows when that might happen. So that's why I'm looking at VDO.Ninja. So over here, no, everyone's asking for a deeper dive from this guy. How many? I don't want to keep reading all these comments, but let's just go to his channel and see if he did do a deeper dive into VDO.Ninja. Pause that, search here, VDO.Ninja. It's too big. So 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago. So he didn't. He just did that video. So let's take a look at their official, or this is a deep dive, I guess, by Steve Seguin. Seguin? That's a cool name.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chris.
Hello, Chris.
This is no wait. This direction. This is Steve.
Steve.
Always get this wrong every single time.
No, wait. That's Alan. Alan.
I'm located in Germany. Steve's located in Canada, in Toronto, and we are talking to each other using a system that Steve actually developed. It's called VDO.Ninja, and this video's purpose is to give you a little head start, a little.
See, I was going to do this. He's the really nice guy, the creator of video and social stream. Okay, cool. See, I was going to use Discord, but now I'm not. I'm going to just use VDO.Ninja. You've talked with him a couple of times. Okay, cool. Nice guy.
I want to explain what it is. I'll ask nosy questions to Steve because I don't know everything about the system, but I've used it for years now. And we want to give a quick demonstration of just some of the basic functionalities so you can get started as quick as possible. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Good. All right, let's kick this. What is VDO.Ninja? Well, first of all, VDO.Ninja. VDO.Ninja is, as you said, it's not an acronym. It's just the way it's pronounced. It means VDO.Ninja, right? And it is, in its simplest form, it's a system that transports video and audio from A to B. And it does that in a browser. And ideally, well, and it uses a browser to capture on the sending side, and it uses a browser to display on the receiving side. As we will not be able to explain everything that the system can do and does, because it is really extensive and it does a lot of things, but that is one of its basic functionalities. And I think the main functionality to get video from A to B, and to do this in a as good as possible quality and in an as short as possible time.
It's obviously bandwidth intensive, or it's subjected to your internet, obviously. So I got fiber internet, so I'm good. I got gigabit
as
fiber
low
internet.
As possible latency. So we're talking.
I use it to add phones as wireless cameras. So that's basically an NDI source then. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool, man.
We can have a fluid discussion, even though we're in different continents, and the signal goes halfway around the world, because what VDO.Ninja does it sends the video point to point. Right now, it sends my video to Steve's browser directly from browser to browser. There's no, like, let's say with Skype or Zoom or other systems, there's always a central server that ingests and spits it out to all the participants in a conference, which takes time and processing. Here in this case, there is no intermediary. It's just a point-to-point connection. Am I right so far?
That's probably why it's free, right? Because it's not using any server that needs to be paid for. It's just using your local browser. Pretty cool.
Yep, absolutely.
Wonderful. So that leads to short latencies. We have a way less than half a second latency here. I'd say it's probably...
It uses WebRTC. Right. Look, why haven't I heard of this before? I feel like I must have heard of this before. How come I haven't heard of this before? Have I heard of this before? It seems too good to be like... I've been streaming for 5-6 years now, and I'm just discovering this. Get out of here, man. I should have known about this. I should have been using this. It's too good.
In the 100 to 200 milliseconds. So that really works well to keep a good discussion going.
Flowski, it's not free for Steve, though. No server is a misnomer. He pays for extensive turn servers, which are kind of necessary. Oh, he should... he probably has a buy me a coffee or something, or a PayPal donation address. I often hit those and drop a few bucks in. You know, if you use something and it helps you, such as, I made a video about this, but there's an app called OpenMTP. MTB. No, MTB is mountain bike. OpenMTP. What OpenMTP is for? If you've got the latest GoPros, I think it's probably from GoPro Hero. No, probably it's been this way since the Hero 8s or something, but if you record like I do, you go surfing and you press the record button and it records the entire surf. Well, you get chunks of video, and the chunks of video are 12 gig per chunk. Now on a Mac, certainly on a Mac on Monterey operating system, OS Monterey, you cannot import a file direct through the USB options. Anything larger than 4.7, no, that's a DV, about 4.2, I think it is. Anything larger than that gets truncated. So it takes the file and it puts it on your desktop, but it's only the first 4.2 gig, and therefore the file's broken or it's corrupted. And so there's an app that allows you to plug it in as you normally would with I use the Contactor magnetic door. You just tap that on, turn it on, comes up as in the OpenMTP application, it sees this as an Android phone, and it sees it across any operating system, not just Mac, but PCs, anything, Linux, anything. And you can take what's on here straight to your desktop in the full file size. And that guy doesn't charge, but he has a buy me a coffee. So I have. He has bingo, he has one as well. Steve, well, once I've been using this... Why is that still wet? Dude, I haven't surfed in 2 days. It's not wet, is it? It feels wet. Weird. It can't still be wet after 2 days. It's underneath the air conditioning. Maybe it's just cold. Yeah, but when someone makes software like that and you use it and you've used it for a while, if it works for you, drop the creator some cash. You know, they're making it for free, you know. So if this works for me in a few months, I'll buy a coffee.
And at the same time, Steve can pull video and audio from me and from both of us, and do that in a super high quality. I mean, really, really excellent quality.
Looks fine. Yeah.
You can hear this in the sound. You can see this in the video. Works really well. By the way, works best in Chrome. Very important. Chrome. This is based on the WebRTC protocol, which is best in...
Beam is kind of filling this purpose, but he also makes Social Stream, which compiles chat from almost 100 different platforms. I use it for my chat. Social Stream, dude. Social Stream. I mean, my Beam Stream hasn't been pulling in my YouTube chat forever. What is Social Stream? Are you kidding me, dude? Is that like a Beam Stream? Social Stream. Social Stream Ninja. He loves the ninja theme, right? Let's just take a little look at this.
Social Stream is a powerful tool designed for content creators and show producers. At its core, it pulls in chat messages from a variety of sources, including YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and TikTok, but there's over 100 other sites supported. These captured messages stream into a customizable dashboard where users can interact with the messages, such as highlighting them, or they can simply use this page as a transparent overlay on their OBS video. Further features include text-to-speech, bot actions, autoresponders, chat relaying, user history, emote walls, but there's endless more, including many customizations. Social Stream is completely free, available as an open source browser extension,
The hell?
and now also available as a downloadable app for PC or Mac. Check it out at socialstream.ninja.
Dude, this guy's a genius, right? The only downside is that you have to keep the chat window open. Probably not with the app though. It scrapes via a browser extension, that's not a problem. I mean, I'd keep the chat window open that I can see it bigger anyway, but might be a problem for IRL streaming, but it captures all the ones we've ever known about. I mean, look, like I said, come August, when my channel goes through its 10-year anniversary, I will be reformatting. And if BeamStream is still faffing around with the chat not working correctly, I'll just use that. I'll just use the social stream. But thanks for letting me know, man. He's a genius. Fully, dude. Fully.
Implemented in the Chrome browser. So if you want to use this, Chrome is the safest bet. There's a couple of Chromium-based browsers that work well too. But I'm on a Mac. You are on Steve is on Windows. I'm doing this in Chrome browser. Safari on the Mac, not ideal.
Wait.
It lacks.
You're doing it in Chrome Safari? Chrome Safari? I think you just got that wrong.
In Chrome browser. Safari on Windows. I'm doing this in Chrome browser. Safari on the Mac, not ideal.
He meant he's not touching Safari. Gotcha. Well, I don't touch that either for streaming. I'll use Brave browser.
It lacks a couple of things. It's moving forward quickly, but it's still not quite there. So Chrome it is.
Consider joining his Discord if you're in his presence. He responds that, yeah, I will. Flowski, can you invite me? Because I actually have Discord. I have Discord open right now because I thought that's what we were going to be using here for this. Yeah, can you invite me into that, dude? Invite me in. Dale, oh wait, that's Flowski. Sorry, Flowski. I just saw your Discord message. Sorry, and yeah, we discussed it. Yeah, swish. I didn't remember your handle there. I was like, who's that? Okay, cool. Whoops.
Let's talk about a couple of important concepts here. And the first one is the room. It's kind of the basic central block where things come together is a room. A room in VDO.Ninja is basically just a URL that you put in a browser.
Thanks, man. I see that there. I'll just hit that. Oh, shit, it's behind my camera. I've got to go through the process, but I will read those rules, and I'll do that later. But thank you, man. Actually, I'll come back and do that later. Swish. I'm already in. Okay, cool.
Browser. You invite the guests. They all use pretty much the same URL. They all end up in the room. The room comes into existence the moment it's being used. When the last person leaves the room, it just disappears. You don't have to set anything up. You don't need any passwords. Well, if you want, you can, but by default, you don't. You don't need any setup. You don't need to install any software apart from having a Chrome browser. That's pretty much all you need. So the room is where people can meet. And that's what we're doing right now here.
Steve is an introvert. You can tell the host is barely letting him talk. It's a bit rude, isn't it? He's talking over him. Let him explain his product. Germany? Canada wants to speak.
Are in a room, which means we both use the same URL to join that room. And then the system asks you to select your camera, to select your microphone, to select your speaker or headphones or whatever you're using. And then you click join or start, and that's it. You're in that room. So another important thing that the system does is, as it is, well, can act as a conference kind of system, even though that's not what it was made for. It is a production system, right? It is made for video production.
I love
There's a focus on the director.
I love Germans talking English. I just love it. It's such a, they are talking so very careful to speak the right English. Very obvious it's German first, but now I can speak English. I love that about Germans. And most Germans talk that way as well. And then you go to the Netherlands and they add this little bit of, on the top of it's got this
In control.
Wait, we're missing Canada for the first time. I'm talking over Canada.
It is a production system, right? It is made for video production.
Absolutely. There's a focus on the director in control over the guests.
So for that purpose, there's also for each room that you create. Again, you pretty much get the room into existence by choosing a name for it and putting that in your browser, pretty much. So for that room, there is also a director's view, which Steve, can you pull that up?
Absolutely.
It's pretty much one of the control centers behind the scenes. So let's say you have a bunch of people. You want to record a podcast with 2 people.
So Flowski, let me get this right. You can bookmark a page. Like I'd have this as a bookmark menu. I'd say, guest chats, and I could bookmark multiple rooms that I could go back into later and just drag them out. I mean, I guess I've got to finesse all this, but
which is pretty much what we're doing right now. So if you look at the director's view for those 2 people, that's what you see. That's an interface with some boxes on it. There's these tiles with each of the guests on them, and there's a lot of buttons to control the guests, like, I don't know, mute them, turn off their cameras, transfer them to a different room, even though this is quite advanced already.
I believe so. Again, I only use it for linking video and audio sources as wireless. I haven't done call-ins. Okay. Yeah, dude, I'm really excited. Hey.
But as simple as this, you have
with the wireless camera thing. I keep the same URL and never have to update it. So there it is. That's the answer. That's cool. Rad.
A room with people in it. By the way, there are limitations because VDO.Ninja does not use a central server, a central distribution hub kind of thing as other systems. It means that each system is kind of sending video to all the other systems. So it does not explode because there is a mechanism built in to kind of keep the data rates as low as possible between the participants. But just as a rule of thumb, I'd say maybe about 10 people in a room is reasonable. 50 people in a room at this point, not quite there. There are mechanisms.
Whoever needs to do a panel discussion with 50 people, aside from the Hex conference, I don't know if Fast Abdul's still watching. Aside from Matty Allen breaking records, no one needs to do that, right?
To work around it, Steve is probably developing like secret weapons in the background every day to mitigate these things. But
you can control all the bit rates and encoders, audio quality. It's insanely complex, man. When you look at it just from here, and I guess we'll look into it deeper another time. I probably won't set this up on this stream. I'll set it up on the Beam stream outside of YouTube. But when you look at it just here, it looks quite basic. Like it looks doesn't look like a big, deep. It looks very, very. It looks like old school, right? Just like with little tiles and straight edges and stuff. It doesn't look detailed.
I'd say up to 10 people in a room is a reasonable number that you can do. So, how do we get things out of a room into let's say into OBS or vMix or whatever other thing you want to use to record your podcast? There is another concept next to the room and the director. There is a scene or there are different kinds of scenes, but there's a default scene in the directory. You can just copy that from like one of those top boxes.
Copy.
And if you copy that scene link, which by default is automatically mixing everyone who joins that room, mixes them into one output scene in decent quality. If you paste that into a different browser or into a browser source in vMix or in OBS, then you get an automatically mixed scene with all the participants in that room. So that's what should be on the screen now.
Yep.
You get double audio. By the way, I've never even considered just pasting a browser source into a browser. I never thought about doing that, but that's how you can preview it, right?
And if you mute that, yeah, well, it transports audio and everything. So so here is a scene that doesn't look that different from what you saw just now, but now it is a scene that could be living in OBS, in video, in vMix, in whichever other production system you use.
Sick.
There are defaults for video bit rates, for quality settings, and so on, but those can be extended quite a bit. So the defaults are already very, very good in terms of quality. So I wouldn't typically change anything there. But if you want to go higher, we're talking 1080p up to 4K video. We're talking 30 or 60 frames per second. We're talking studio quality audio. This is VDO.Ninja uses the Opus codec in the background, which is very capable of transmitting studio quality audio in bit rates. Well, 500.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can maybe still control the guest's audio individually in the group with sliders, or you could do your trick. I think my trick will be easier simply because it'll bring up the functionality on the Stream Deck Plus where I've got the dials to up and down. So having that functionality in the back end for me will be a godsend. Like that'll be amazing.
12 kilobits.
And that's the max audio.
Yeah, good point.
Rate.
Yeah.
Which you don't even need with Opus. I think 128 or 64 is usually plenty good for voice. So it sounds, yeah, like we're in the same room. So that is just a little like taste of what it can do and how it does it. So again, the concepts are: there's a room that people meet in. There's a director's view or control. Is there an official term? I'm not sure. I think it keeps changing. So
I suppose it changes a bit. Yeah.
It's a director's room, which allows you to, as a director, to modify things. You can even go as far as choosing the guest's microphone. Like if they are not very techie, you could go in there and say, okay, let me choose the camera for you and the microphone for you. And the guest will be prompted, the director allowed.
Look at all these options here. Wow. Blind guest, hide guest, deafen guest, change URL, remote, record, create timer, time them out, I guess. Wow.
To change your microphone. And so you could change the tech on the...
That's not even all the options. That's just a sampling. You can do even more with URL parameters. I saw that someone made that comment in the in that YouTube video before.
On the guest side, even from here, if you need to. There's like,
because what I would do, and this is what I've done before with Restream. So if we were to use this for our call-ins and for our music game, which we don't really play much anymore, but we can reignite that. I need the guest to hear all the things that are local to me. So therefore, and this is how I've done it before, with loopback audio, I create a virtual audio device that includes all of the things that I'm like say iTunes. Well, it's called music, but just to differentiate between music and the app. So I include the iTunes app. I include all the Streamlabs alerts. I include the background music or the underlay audio, and I send that, or I choose, and I include my microphone in the mix, and I choose that virtual input as my microphone in Restream. But the problem, or the way it got technically weird, is that then I've got to also send that audio to OBS and stream it. And so where I would meet up against a wall sometimes, and we often tested this, was at some point there was a doubling up of the audio, and I never quite work out where that was. So it's going to be good to be able to get in deep under the hood here and set everything up in loopback and make sure it's working, and then add that into VDO.Ninja, and then browser source capture that. And that would be like so simple that that's all I've got to do then. The only thing you need to be slightly careful with VDO.Ninja is that since it's controlled by URLs, you don't want to send the link to people you don't trust. They could potentially tamper with your stream by taking over as director or whatever. Aren't they password protected though? Aren't they password protected to get into the... Cool thing is though, if someone like that happens, you can just create a new room. True. I think they're password protected though, aren't they? The rooms? I'm not too sure. I guess we'll look into that, but
again, this would take days to go into all the details, which is the reason there is a great documentation. So the main URL is VDO.Ninja, VDO.Ninja. There is a documentation link that is docs.video.ninja. There is the main...
It has options for that, but the password is simply passed in the URL, so part of the link and not over. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, it's at that point that you'd have to... Yeah, you wouldn't be sending out the link in the public chat. You'd say, who wants to join me on stream? And then you'd get them to DM you. And that's how you'd pass the link out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
At github.video.ninja. Let me see. Did I forget anything? Oh, and of course the Discord. I think that's kind of the main communication thing. If you need support for your, I don't know, for your Windows setup, for your Mac setup, for different aspects of the system, that is where you will find others to help you.
Pretty
Steve
rad,
is usually there. I'm there sometimes. And with that, I hope we managed to give you a bit of an overview. Is there anything on the surface that I should have mentioned and didn't, Steve?
I'm not sure. It's free.
It's free, yeah. It's free. It's privacy focused. It works even on a smartphone. So, but people use it. Let's look at a few use cases. You do a recording of a podcast, or some people use it to simply take their smartphone and turn it into a webcam, because that's what you can do with the system. You can bring your video from your smartphone into a room or into a scene. What else do people do with it?
Theoretically, you could use it. You could use it as an IRL source. How would you? Can you? Aside from a browser source, it doesn't. No, it doesn't RTMP it out anywhere. You'd have to have OBS running the whole time back home, though. Steve said like 10 words. I've gone on hikes and used OBS at home as my receiver. Exactly. Yeah. So that is a way to do it without. That's a way to IRL stream without buying one of these, without having a LiveView Solo or a P3 Mini, which is coming tomorrow, Monday, by the way. Oh, Tuesday. It's public holiday Monday, but it's been shipped to me. But that's how to IRL stream without a streaming coder. Yeah, there you go. Interesting. You do that.
VTubers in Japan who use it. There's like this is really interesting to see if the moment you give people a system that can do a lot of things, and again, this is a Swiss Army knife. We really merely scratch the surface. If you give people a system, they will come up with interesting use cases. So it's worth digging in. It's worth joining the Discord, asking questions. There are plenty of people who use that system on a daily basis and use it for serious productions. This is not a toy. This is being used by we're not naming names, but by some major corporations and so on. So
Cool.
this is a system that has legs, and it is it's amazing what it can do. So with that, let's end this video. Go check out the docs. Go check out the Discord, and we are going to record a couple more with a bit more details and a bit of a deeper look into some of the areas.
Let's take a look at those
Chris.
then.
This is Steve. No, this is Steve. See you in the next one.
Let's have a look at this. Videos. Podcasting with VDO.Ninja. $50 mic. VDO.Ninja into Audacity. How to record. Host your own copy of VDO.Ninja. Okay. OBS to OBS via Whip. Social stream, coding with Steve. Maybe that deep dive was on the German guy's channel. Maybe, so not here. Yeah. I'll go back in that case and find in the description, I guess. No. Explore the podcast, 9 episodes. Okay, here they all are. They're quite lengthy. I kind of want to watch them though, if I'm being honest. I kind of want to watch them. I kind of want to watch them. I don't think we need to watch the bait. Oh no, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch them. You know what? Should I just take a break, grab myself a coffee, and come back, and we'll sit down and watch all these, and then I'll faff around at my end here, setting it up, and tomorrow we'll do a panel calling with it. Not on YouTube. I'll faff around with it on my Beam setup, and I'll look at it and make sure I've got it sort of ready to roll. But today on the YouTube stream, we'll just learn all about it and digest everything. These look like they go for just under 10 minutes, each one of them. So we'll be here for another hour or so. I'm going to get myself a coffee. I'll be right back. All right, let's continue on with episode 2. I'll leave this playlist open and we'll just hit the tab here. The basics.
Now, we didn't talk about who does the introduction, so I'll just pick that up. I'm Chris, and with me is Steve, and I'm in Germany, and Steve is in Toronto, Canada.
Yep. Hi, guys.
So,
I didn't even know this podcast series was produced, but he adds new features almost daily. Fastest developer I've ever seen. It might have even more stuff not shown. Wow, dude. I mean, look, can I just say, Flo, at this stage, if there's anything else like this out there that I don't know about, that you know about in the live streaming world, tell me now. I'm loving, I want to say OBS Ninja. I'm loving VOD Ninja, and I'm loving the idea of the Stream Ninja as well. Are you going to tell me he's also got one for bandwidth protection for IRL streamers? You're going to say, oh no, he's had that for years too.
This is a pretty much the basics about OBS Ninja, which is a product that you, Steve, have.
Wait, he called it OBS Ninja. He called it OBS Ninja. What's OBS Ninja? It's Video Ninja. He called it OBS Ninja.
The basics about OBS Ninja, which is a product that you, Steve.
I always thought you had everything ironed out. No, not at all, dude. Not at all. Always learning. So I didn't bother mentioning it. It used to be called OBS.Ninja. Okay, gotcha. So how old is this then? This can't be that old though. This is 4 years old. Wow. Okay, so interesting. These are all 4 years old, but the top one is 2 years old. Oh, well, we'll watch it anyway. I mean, we're going to learn. We're going to learn.
You have made and are still making. So maybe you tell us just a minute about that.
Okay. Well, OBS Ninja is something that I put out at the beginning of the virus.
With you live view solo, you do things I'm only dreaming about, so I figure you must be behind it. Wow. Nah, dude, there's always room to learn. Always, man. Like, yeah. And if there's a better way to do things, like, shit me, man. I mean, if everyone's needs are different, but if I didn't have the live view solo or the P3 Mini, I'd probably use this as like a stream back to home OBS style if I'm just keeping local. But I don't know, like going all the way out to Uluru and then hoping that OBS stays open on my computer at home just seems a little bit sketchified.
Let's call it
Pandemic.
Yeah. Back in.
And with the Starlink, you're the Gear King. The Gear King. That's a pretty cool name. Maybe I should rebrand Gives a Minute to the Gear King. Someone's already got that, surely. I don't want it anyway. But speaking of Starlink, dude, I'll just pause for a second. I've just been messing around with my Mini and powering it. And even though I do have a pretty damn solid power bank here that I was planning on using, and there's no reason why I can't use it. It's all scratched up there. I also needed to buy, I don't know if you recall on my trip, but I did need to buy a drill and a drill for tent pegs to drill in. I'm sick of those hammering pegs in, never again, blah, 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 blah. I've been holding out on buying a drill for that purpose, and I wanted to get the best recommendations of camping drill bits, camping drills for this purpose. And I was just watching today about powering the Starlink Mini, in specific the Starlink Mini, and someone was saying there is the sickest little power bank. You've already got it if you're a four-wheel drive enthusiast. It's called your drill. These Ryobi drills that have the little 5 amp hour battery, 14 volt battery that slides in. Someone makes like a plug-on, not a plug-in, a plug-on that plugs on the top of it, and it becomes a power bank. And the Starlink Mini has a very specific voltage requirement, depending on how long the cable run is. If the cable run's really long, you need a higher wattage up front when it powers up, and then you can taper it off. But if you've got a small run, blah, 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 blah. This is a power bank that I already own, which will work. However, I just went, okay, well, instead of me buying a drill with power and only using it for the drill, I'll buy a drill that uses the same power, this Ryobi stuff, and I'll get that. So this isn't, I might keep this as a backup. And I just bought that. I bought the drill today, haven't got it yet. Drill, 2 batteries and a dual charger so that when I'm somewhere with power, I can charge it, but you can also charge it off the inverter, blah, 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 blah. It also will be my Starlink power bank. And that, I'm not, like, I didn't buy the drill because I didn't need it. And I was waiting to figure out which drill I should get. So stoked I didn't buy it because now I've bought the right one. So what I'm saying is there's always opportunities to learn every time.
February, March is when I guess I started working on it. It's simply a tool that enables creators to pull remote videos in to OBS. And you can use that for using a smartphone as a virtual cam, or you can use it to produce some pretty complex shows. And it's a free service with code available for you to white label. And thanks to people like Chris providing lots of feedback and help, I've been able to be motivated.
Poking at you and going, no, this doesn't work.
It's pushed the product to a point where it's actually usable.
Dude, I'm just thinking ahead. Once I get in that Discord and start, using the product and talking to people about it, potentially to Steve himself, I would love to be able to angle the conversation towards this. How rad is VOD.Ninja, VDO.Ninja? How rad is it? It's rad, right? Everybody thinks it's rad. It's awesome. How about this? If you added a paid service and you included bitrate protection for those of us who are using it as a remote camera back to OBS at home, how sick would it be if you added a paid tier level and it included bandwidth protection and the possibility to output to an RTMP server? If those 2 things were added, you could literally stream without a streaming coder, and you could just send it to beamstream.gg and then it would do all the restream outputs to everywhere, all the multi-stream outputs. I mean, at that point, you're looking at a paid tier level, of course, right? Because then there's going to be costs involved, but that would be, and if you say he's very responsive in the Discord and whatnot, I will get in there and slowly angle towards that, He might say that seems something far beyond what I ever thought this product would do, so I'm probably not going to bother with that. Fair enough, but that would answer a lot of IRL streamers' callings for sure. Bitrate protection would be sick, yeah. It's almost frustrating for his sake how many people ask questions in his Discord and how fast he responds and fixes stuff. What? Yeah. I thought about setting up an RTMP server with NGINX. That's kind of technical. Yeah. Beyond my tech abilities as well.
I like to think at least we're using it here.
So you're using it here, and I usually explain what OBS.Ninja is as it's a transporter. It transports video and audio from point A to point B, from one web browser to the other. And we're using it right now. We're talking.
There's something, his audio is not synced up.
Real time without any bad delay, any latency, and OBS.Ninja does that. So that's how I try to break it down. And there's a ton of options. It can do so many things that it gets to a point where, it does have complexity. It's a tool for producers, right? For most of the time, I would think producers would use that. I want to clarify one thing though. It's called OBS.Ninja, and I think that is one of the most confusing things for people, because OBS is not necessarily needed to use it, right? It's not true. OBS. It's not affiliated with OBS.
No, it's mainly focused for OBS, though. There's a lot of additional functionality that's been specifically built for OBS. It's definitely not needed, and there are alternative domains you can access this at, so you can access
This must be old. Yeah, 3 years ago, dude. This video from this playlist went up 3 years ago. 4 years ago.
Through RTC, Real-Time Chat Ninja. OBS was just the focus to help keep the product development focused.
Right, and it came at the right time for me. I found it sometime early May when I was thinking about more video production because I was grounded at home, as many were, and I came across OBS Ninja, and it really enabled. It was let me try that sentence again. It was an enabling tool for me because it really gave me a way to remotely talk with people. Again, without too much latency, and that is with a good quality and little latency. We're talking, I don't know how long the SIG takes from Germany to Toronto, but I'd say it's probably under 200 milliseconds. So
it's about that.
It's
fast.
Basically what he's illustrating. It's almost indistinguishable. Like, it's so sick. That is. I mean, that could be used on live television.
It's fast, so it allows for fluid conversation. And what we're doing here is a little, we'll call it web series or something.
His audio's desyncing a bit, and that could be in exporting of the file to make it into the video. Blah blah blah. You don't know where that desyncing element comes from. And the other thing too, of course, it's all dependent on your internet connection. So internet's gotten faster and more reliable all over the planet.
Lines podcast, whatever you want to call it, that gives you step by step the basics and then goes into more advanced concepts. So this is the first episode of that.
Right.
Swish.
This took us long to get to this point in the explanation. So I think we show just the most basic concept, which is how does it work? People might have that question now. Well, how do you actually do it? And I think the easiest way is to show the easiest way to show it is by sending video from one browser to another and showing how that goes. So
yeah,
switch over. Here we are. We have two browsers here.
Dude, there's a buffer URL parameter that helps with some of the syncing and other issues. I've used it for wireless cam setup. Dude, so I'm assuming in the Discord, once I get up there and get cranking, I'm assuming there's like a list of all the URL parameters and what they do. That's so sick, man. Far out, dude.
And I think first thing to note is it works really well in Chrome. It does work in Firefox, not quite as well as in Chrome. And then don't even try Safari. It'll be difficult here. It does work on mobile.
I want to use Internet Explorer. Can I? Will it work there? I want to use I want to use Edge. Edge is Internet Explorer, isn't it? I don't even have that, but I want to use it. No, fuck that. I want to use Netscape Explorer, dude. Netscape. Give me Netscape Explorer. Can I use that?
But the best platform is on a desktop, on a laptop with Google Chrome.
And Ethernet.
And even that has problems. But
actually, you know what? I'm going to use Chrome. I'm going to use Chrome exclusively because I have Chrome, but I use Brave browser. But for this, I'll just use Chrome. Edge actually is the best, ironically. Ever since Edge became Chromium based, it's actually quite good for video. Is that right? Oh shit. Maybe okay. I'll use Edge then, dude. I'll use Edge. So Edge is a Chromium based browser. So Edge is like Brave. Well, there you go. I thought Edge was what Internet Explorer turned into. I'm going to use it on a Mac though. On Windows, I can't speak for Mac. Shit. Okay, I won't touch it. I'll just use Chrome on a Mac. I don't use Chrome for any. In fact, I used to just use Chrome for Restream anyway. Edge is much like Brave in that sense. Yeah, cool. I like Brave because you earn basic attention token just by using it, and the pre-search token just by using pre-search instead of Google. So sick.
But these are not your problems because it's built on WebRTC, which is an open communications protocol,
right?
Which is just best implemented on Google Chrome, as far as I know.
They're the ones who are helping to lead the technology stack. So yeah.
So let's do a very quick demo here. OBS.Ninja / equals my. So
A secret ID.
If you look at this URL, it pretty much shows you an ID. That is one you choose. So this is now the secret ID under which a stream will be sent. And if I click on share your camera, I can choose my camera. Let's use this one. And I can choose an audio source. So I have a bloody mess of audio sources here, but I'm just going to use my default microphone. It shows me that that's the one is active with this little meter here. And then there's an audio output destination. Let me just use that one here. There's a little test button, so I can now hear in my headphones that that's where the sound comes out. And I send it. And now that video goes out under that stream ID. That's pretty much the basics. And if you want to receive that video somewhere else, then
I don't want it to be too generic, or someone can intercept it between streams. If you had your ID, for example, I could use your room on my channel. So if mine was like gives a minute, but nobody sees that. Nobody sees that at all, right? I mean, you could guess it. You could guess it. You could say, is there question mark push equals gives a minute? You could guess it for sure. I'd change it and I'd say takes a minute or gives 2 minutes. Bad luck trying to guess that. Good luck brute forcing that. You'll never get it. But yeah, but you're saying you've got to guess it, but you would never see the URL.
have to do is, instead of push, use view.
Or are you telling me that when I invite a guest, it says someone's invited you to this room and the room is the secret ID plus room equals? The room URL is gives a minute secret ID equals boobies question mark room.
Secret ID. By the way, choose an ID that is unique, because if you use the ID Jack, there's a good chance another Jack will use that same ID. Yeah. We will talk in future episodes about how this can be protected so this doesn't happen. But by default, choose an obscure ID. So I hope no one else is using my secret ID. Actually, no one else is using my secret ID. Otherwise, I couldn't send under that ID, right?
Right.
You built that in so it detects if someone else uses that same ID. Anyway.
I'm going to call mine push equals DLive is DLove. Oh, shit, no one's using that anymore, aren't they? Throwback.
There we go. Video going from this one over.
That's how you can test latency right there with the push and the view.
This one. Okay. No, pointing at my screen. I've like 100 pictures of myself on the screen now, but you get the idea, right? There's one sending browser and one receiving browser. And that's the basics. And the rest is, well, it gets a bit more complex, but this is how this works, pretty much.
That's the very basics of OBS Ninja, just branching over from one pusher to the viewer on another page, remote page. It could be anywhere in the world.
So sick.
And that's the first episode, I think.
He should be charging for this, man.
So
should be charging for it.
We'll be back with a bit more of an advanced concept in the next one, which is about rooms, because this gets more complex.
Oh man, that does sound pretty complex. Well, we're using rooms right now, so it's not that hard. Even we figured it out.
It's very simple. So stay tuned. This will be. We're winging this right now, so I guess this will be in a YouTube playlist somewhere. So you can just go to the playlist and go to.
He also makes the Electron Capture app. It might not be something you use though. Give me the rundown. What is the Electron Capture app?
And they will probably be numbered, so they will be in chronological order. And we're taking extra care that they are that they work with each other.
Here we go. Episode 2.
Are we on? Okay.
Basically, it's a very lean browser app you can capture in OBS. Can be smoother than the built-in browser source. Ooh. Okay. So it's a browser source. It's replacing scenes plus browser source. It's a separate window that you could capture, that you would capture via window capture. Okay, so I have had a need for that. It's not an OBS plugin. It's not. So where is it used? Where is it used? It's a scene. Is it a way to put another desktop on a desktop kind of thing, like to put another on a separate monitor, you can have a separate part of a browser just up there, such as the Bitcoin price or a countdown clock or something?
This is episode 2, second lesson in how to use OBS Ninja. I'm Chris, and
I'm
there's Steve. I'm in Germany, you're in Canada. So we're using OBS Ninja to talk to each other at good quality and low latency. And in the first lesson, we showed you just a very basic concept of how to get video from one browser.
It's essentially like opening a browser, but a very fast, lean one. Think like a Chrome window, but with no bloat. It's not processor demanding. Man, that would have come in super handy a few years ago, or a number of years ago now, when we were doing CreatorCast and all of our computers were underpowered and our internet was lousy. We needed that then, a browser that is not chugging down the resources. My machine would spin up like it was about to take off, you know, when we were doing those old days CreatorCast. Yeah, we needed that then. Shit, that's cool.
To the other. And cool. Now we are going to introduce you to a bit more of an advanced way to do it, albeit I think a simpler way, and that's a room. So room is kind of a very powerful concept that is behind OBS Ninja. Would you like to say a few words about what that does?
A room is a way to bring multiple streams together for the purpose of...
You're getting a phone call. Doesn't matter.
For the purpose of getting the benefits of things like echo cancellation, allowing people to have mix minus audio.
Nice.
And also supporting mobile devices where you couldn't open up multiple.
Mix minus audio, there it is. That's what I need to narrow out or mute out certain audio sources. Flowski, when I do wireless cam setup with a video capture, I capture it with Electron Capture and it has a higher frame rate than the built-in OBS. Dude, are you serious? So you just have it on a separate monitor using the Electron Capture and then you window capture that into OBS. Far out, man. You know, yeah, look, as you correctly stated, I probably won't use that, but what a boon to people that have a resource intense, like they might still be on like an old i5 or something, you know, or a heaven forbid a Dell laptop. I don't know. I can't remember what the Windows laptops are, but for those people that have for those people that have power issues, they're underpowered machines, laptops or desktops. That sounds like it's answering that call, man. That's sick. Yeah, that's really cool. Really cool.
Tabs. A room allows you to provide multiple streams in those cases where you couldn't normally do it. We also support a director's room, and the director's room allows you to essentially manage those streams remotely.
Hey, Flo, while you're here, dude, and you've been here the whole time, I appreciate that. You're the only one here, by the way, although I have had a few views on YouTube pop up, no one chatting. Remind me or educate me, what is a virtual camera in OBS? Is it what it sounds like? If I start a virtual camera, does that bring up another window of whatever I send from OBS into it? Because if it does, can you create a virtual... Let me jump off for a second. Can you create a virtual camera from OBS and just whack it on a separate monitor and just leave it there? And then when you start your room in VDO.Ninja, instead of selecting your camera, you go down the drop-down menu and choose the virtual camera, and therefore whatever you send onto that virtual camera canvas goes out to VDO.Ninja. Do you see what I'm saying? So if I put up like, because right now if I chose this camera as my VDO.Ninja camera, that's all it's receiving. But if I cut in and bring up my, if I cut in and bring up my reverse camera and this new one I've added today, these cameras don't interface into that because it's only taking that camera. Flowski, it will output your entire scene in OBS as a camera and capture it elsewhere. It's what you said. It can have all your effect layers, etc. Right. And so then, okay, I've never used it. I've seen it right there, and I've seen it looking at me, and I'm like, do I need a virtual camera? I've got a real one. Why would I need a virtual one? Now I'm seeing where that might come into play. Because then, how many can you... Fuck, I'm really thinking about this now. Could you do multiple virtual cameras? And when it comes time to sharing a screen, you could just choose the ones? Dude, this gets really complex now. I'm just thinking about music. Like if we do a music game, could I, in my main scene, add the iTunes on the corner and have score and stuff? It's only one though, but you can change scenes in OBS and it'll show in the yeah. So I could always have a virtual camera and a scene, and the scene could always have the audio from the music app, but it wouldn't always have to have the display of it up. Yeah, I see. Okay. Far out, dude. And then if you can choose to share a screen in VDO.Ninja, so can the director share a screen? I hope they can share a screen, because you could also have your virtual camera and then share a screen at the same time and have that as another, or you could just have that as another source. Wait, hang on. When you choose your camera in VDO.Ninja, does it only allow cameras as the source, like video sources, or can you share an app like as a source? Can you share like the media app, the music app, the iTunes app? Can you, or does it have to be a camera? You can show your desktop movie or whatever you want. You can, but you can show that, but does that cancel out your camera, or does that come in as another? So if I'm in the room as the director and I'm one of the multiple panels, like there's 4 of them, then I want to share, let's say the iTunes. If I add that in, does that just add it as another one and it keeps me in there as well? Or it doesn't cancel out your camera? Hell yeah, that's perfect. That is exactly, that's what I was using Restream for, and wangling it. What I was doing with Restream was I was putting all of the, I don't know if you knew this is how I did it, but I was putting everything into a smaller window and then display capturing that in OBS and keeping the scale less than my canvas size, and then in OBS adding in the other things. So now I could keep it all in the browser, all in the room, and never have to wangle extra things around. Like, dude. I think we've just discovered how to do this, and we don't need to use Discord. We're not even touching Discord. I should change the title of this stream. The stream is, can Discord be used for video call-ins? Probably can. Are we doing it? No, we're using VDO.Ninja instead. Yeah, this is so sick, man.
So you can invite a guest in without needing to predefine a stream ID. Mm-hmm. And it gives you a lot of easy access as a producer that you wouldn't normally get.
So Room is a kind of an automatic mixer. Multiple people join the same room and they can all see and hear each other, and then you can, as a director, access their individual feeds, individual streams from that. So why don't we just show what this looks like? And for that, we're going to a couple of browsers. The left one is mine here in Germany. The right one is yours in Toronto. So I'm going to create a room. And the way you do this is just by giving it a name. So obs.ninja/room equals, and now I'll call it,
my secret ID.
My secret room.
Secret room.
And I'm opening a new room, my secret room, all lowercase, and I'm joining the room with a camera and a microphone, all lowercase, and I'm joining the room.
Okay.
With a camera and a microphone. And now I am in this room. And now look what happens when Steve joins the room.
And there's no branding on it anywhere. Like that's they used to, and the reason I'd scale my restream in was because on the right hand upper corner there was a logo. So to scale it in OBS, I could scale the restream logo. Wait, no, it wasn't a restream logo. It is now because I'm using the free version, but before it was something else. Something else was in the way. I can't remember what it was. But I love this idea of having a full screen page that you could always have an overlay of chat if you wanted to as well. Yeah, dude.
And that's the second person, my secret room.
So my secret room.
Snap camera is another example of a common virtual camera. It shows your camera output with all the VR overlays, Snapchat with masks, etc. Is that a plugin for OBS, Snap camera? Because I mean, I haven't even. I'm gonna tap into it. I'm gonna tap into it here on this stream, but I've never even touched the virtual camera in OBS. But that's so cool, man.
So I'm pointing at the camera. I'm going to select my microphone and my camera.
Yeah. And there we go.
Wow.
I'll mute myself here just so we don't get into any trouble. So now what we see here is...
It's not something you'd likely use. Just giving an example. Kids use Snapchat to chat with a bunch of goofy things on their faces. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying. So it's like a VTube kind of thing. Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, yeah, I probably won't use that. I might though.
That we both are in the same room. We can see each other. We can talk to each other in that room. And that is the basics of the room. And if a third person joins, they will just squeeze in there. And then you have 3 people on the screen. And if a fourth person joins.
Can you arrange the stream slabs how you like?
And so on. There is some limitation there. It's not like I probably wouldn't try to put 20 people in a room. Kind of seems to depend on your network, because I think one thing we haven't really talked about yet is that OBS Ninja doesn't use a central server to facilitate all these connections. There's a handshake server that takes care of the interaction, but all the video and audio streams go from browser to browser. So they're all point to point, which means if you put, the more people you put in a room, the more different multiple
I believe you can
connections.
have different layouts, but I'm not totally sure. Since this is years ago, there's been tons of stuff added. Yeah. So yeah, we probably should keep that in mind. This is a bit loud. Keep that in mind that many things have changed since this has come out. This is 4 years old, but wow, man. 4 years ago, I should have been tapping into this.
Each of the people in the room or each of the browsers in the room will have to handle. So I think a doable size is 4 or 5, maybe 6.
I think in the history of my panel discussions, I think the most we've ever had is 6, maybe 5. 5 plus like a music, 5 plus the music the music app, I think.
What's the biggest one you've seen so far?
30 was mentioned.
30? But that's pushing it, right? It
is. 10.
You need lots of bandwidth. You need lots of CPU, GPU power on your computer. Otherwise, it's a bit of a...
With all the panels that you've done, I sort of figured you'd been using Discord all the time. I didn't realize you were paying for it. No, I haven't. I'd never... I mean, at one time I looked into Discord for it, and I think something was... I just couldn't do it or something. I don't know. But either way, I settled on Restream.io. And it wasn't until I was on the road for my Uluru trip that Hendrik and Dalesky kept coming in telling me I've got to get on Beamstream. And I was like, what's Beamstream? And they're like, think of it like a replacement for Restream. And I was like, what? Yeah, it lets you multi-stream to anywhere for free. And I'm like, you kidding me? What? And of course I had to wait till I got home to really investigate it. But as soon as I found out what Beamstream.gg does, I was like, I'm not paying for Restream anymore then. See you later, Restream, out of there. And now you're showing me this. I'm like, dude, this is exactly what I needed from the get-go. I should have just been using this, aside from the multi-stream stuff. But we've got that now with Beam.
Possible problem.
You could disable the video and get into more advanced things like do an audio only room or a select video room, and that will let you probably get 20, 30 people more comfortably. It definitely depends on all your guests. It's the guest with the slowest connection and the slowest computer that's going to break the room first.
But there are ways to handle that, and those are gonna be in a future episode under advanced concepts. So for now, the room is, from a guest's point of view, is pretty much an automated room that takes care of all the connections and so on. But the nice thing about rooms is that if you use them in a production context, if you want to pull individual things out, then you get to do that as a director of a room. So let me open the director view for this room, because every room has a director's view. So I'm opening a new tab here.
Since each guest is occupying a smaller square, there's 0 point to make them all 1080p with a high bitrate. True. If your canvas is 1080p in OBS, you might as well make each one half of that, because at minimum you're going to have two, you and the guest, you and a guest. So at minimum you can halve it immediately. Yeah.
And what's the syntax? Director equals and then the room name, right?
Yep.
So I'll just go OBS.Ninja / director equals my secret room, and this opens this special window. That's the director's view, and the director's view now shows me at very low resolution the different sources here. You can see that the different guests in the room.
Yeah, see right there, solo link for OBS. That's where I'd be punching in each one of those and adding it to an audio source only. That's so sick, dude. Yeah.
And
sorry, I should have been highlighting that. Where my mouse is, I'd be grabbing each one of, where is it? It's already changed. Here, solo link for OBS. I'd be grabbing those links, putting them into OBS on the same scene as the room, and I'd just be not having any visual, just taking the audio, and then on my Stream Deck, I'd just set my audio dial to each one of those from left to right, 4 of them. Now, what happens when you get more than 4 guests? Well, we haven't really, I mean, it might happen, but probably won't happen. I love this, dude. This is so cool. Thank you so much for this, Flowski. I'll send you some more red dirt. Still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with mine, by the way. Someday I'll
sources
work it
here.
out.
You can see that the different guests in the room, and it provides me with a bunch of different links. And there's like an invitation link that you can send to guests. You could go to the director room first if you want to, right? You could start that. It doesn't really matter. The order doesn't really matter. You could, and you can use what's called scenes. And scenes are a kind of a special thing. A scene is
technically, you found VDO on your own. I only mentioned Discord. Glad you found it, though. Actually, yeah, true. I'll take that back. I won't send you any more red dirt. But how did? Oh yeah, that's right. I was searching up how to use Discord for panels. Yeah, fully. I'll pat myself on the back then, or I'll pat Google search on the back.
Well, how to describe that? A scene, right now there are 2 kinds of scenes. There's one scene that automatically includes all guests of the room at good quality. That's kind of the important thing. And you could use that in your production suite of choice, as in OBS, for example. And there's another scene where you can manually add people from the room too. So let's do this. Let's use scene 0 first. Here's an empty scene, a full scene that includes all the guests of the room. So let me open a new tab here. Just copy that link in there. And here we go with a window that has both of us at decent quality. So
Nice.
Very simple. Let me close that one again, and let me show you the other scene, which is the scene number 1. And that's an empty scene. So what we'll get is an empty room. And now as a director, let me go to the director tab again. Under each of those little thumbnails, there's an add to group scene button. So if I add Steve to a scene, let's go over to the tab. There he is. I'll add myself to the scene. We're both there. I'll remove Steve from the scene and he's gone. So you get the idea. As a director, you can.
That's interesting. So that means you could do a scene. Why would you use the other one? The way he just did it is giving you director's control, sort of like a green room, when you can see who comes in. You can add them to the main scene. I think I'd do it that way and also do the audio the other way. But why would you just have a group that means anybody with the link, as soon as they click join, they get on the screen? Whereas this way you've got control over who comes in by, you see them populate in the bottom down here, you see them come up in the waiting room, and then you add them in. That's the way to do it. Let me just go back on that and make sure I didn't hear that incorrectly.
With a window that has people from the room to your production suite of choice, as in OBS, for example. And there's another scene where you can manually add people from the room too. So let's do this. There is let's use scene 0 first. Here's an empty scene, a full scene that includes all the guests of the room. So let me open a new tab here. Just copy that link in there. And here we go with a window that has both.
See that to me, that just seems like that's ripe for anyone to fuck things up, come in naked and start, before you've even known what's happening, there's a dude with his todger out on your stream.
Of us at decent quality. So
I mean, it's great that it's there, but I'd not use that.
Let me close that one again, and let me show you the other scene, which is the scene number 1, and that's an empty scene. So what we'll get is an empty room. And now, as a director, let me go to the director tab again.
Yeah, sick.
Under each of those little thumbnails, there's an add to group scene button. So if I add Steve to a scene, let's go over to the tab. There he is. I'll add myself to the scene. Oh, we're both there.
That's part of the reason I'll never do call-ins. We've seen it all happen too many times, right? Someone just turns up there and he's got his dick out, and all of a sudden it's the streamer's fault. It's like, no, that's not really my fault. I mean, yes, kind of is. You should be monitoring it, should have a mod or whatever, but yeah, it's unfortunate that there's people out there that do that, but this is a way around it for sure.
I'll remove Steve from the scene.
You know what would also be sick, and I'm sure this has come up in the Discord, having to go onto the director's area and manually click these buttons. It'd be so sick if they were shortcut keyed. So, or if you could create shortcut keys to do that, because then you could, again, using a Stream Deck, you could say, well, I want that button to manually add whoever's in position 1 onto the stream, and I want that button to add whoever's in number 2, Shortcuts. Hotkeys, I mean.
So you get the idea. As a director, you can pretty much mix and match and have different guests be in the scene, be not in the scene. You also get to change their audio, because they all output their audio to that scene. So if you use that scene as I
think he's experimented with that stuff. One thing he does have is remote OBS control via phone. I use that as well. Remote OBS control. Now that is awesome for someone like you who's using it as an ingest for your IRL streams. That's rad, dude. Because I remember when I did try that method of IRL streaming it back to OBS. I signed up. Man, let me pause for a second and tell you this. I don't use any Microsoft products. Haven't since 2007 2004 when I started graphic design. Straight away they said, you got to use a Mac for this. I was like, okay. So I moved into the Mac platform. Before that I was a PC guy or a kid, youngster. And from 2004 I've been a Mac guy. Never, ever used Windows. Never. Nothing Microsoft. But to use OBS remotely, I needed to use Microsoft Team, which is a way to visually get your desktop on your phone and quite literally remote access it. And I'm not kidding, dude. I'm not making this up. I had to sign up to a Microsoft account to get that to work. And the very day that I signed up using my actual email address, the very first day I got spammed in my email. I've never had, okay. If you go in my email client and open up the spam folder, sure, there's shit in there, right? But none of it ever comes to me. It all gets filtered out through the spam filters. The day that I signed up to that Microsoft Team thing, I got spams that came into my actual email address, and I've had spam ever since. And it happened on day one of signing up for that fucking Microsoft Team shit, which, by the way, was clunky as all shit. And I ended up not using it after 2 or 3 attempts. I was like, this is garbage. And I've had spam ever since. And it kills me because that's my email address that I've had. It's my first and last name, right? I've had that forever. Why would I want any other email address? And it's riddled with spam because of that fucking one time I used a Microsoft product. So Bill Gates, you can fuck off. That's a bit aggressive. Bill Gates, you should fix that shit. I hated Teams. I had to do a job interview. I wish I'd stuck firm with what I'd done. I wish I'd stood steady with what had done me well for all these years. And that one slip up, one time that you make that, it's like answering a spam call when you look at your phone and you're like, it looks like I'm expecting a call, and you say, hello. And before they even say anything, it just hangs up. It's like, now they know it's a real number. One time, right? One time.
As a browser in OBS, for example, the audio is all guests mixed. Now, if one of them is too loud, you have a little volume slider here where you can change their volume in there. There's even a so-called solo links, which is links specific for that one person. Just imagine you want to use that one person in their separate window and have them in there. So you can copy that solo link and use it in a browser source in OBS.
Dude, this guy's thought of everything. I thought it had individual volume. Yeah, it does. Yeah. You can ramp it up and down there. But obviously with the Stream Deck Plus, dials, knobs.
Straightforward and worth playing. Definitely worth playing with it. You also see 2 recording buttons under each of the scene. Under each of the guests, there's a recording button. I think that goes under experimental for now, right?
Recording. So what?
And I think one
you're recording locally from your browser.
Reason is because the whole recording happens in Google Chrome's memory, so it's not like written out disk. It's in memory, and if your computer runs out of memory, then that might cause issues.
It's experimental for sure. It can have problems with the file types.
I think it works well now because it's been 4 years. You can record each separately for a video, dude. Damn, dude, this is exactly what we needed for CreatorCast. This would have been so revolutionary for us with CreatorCast. We could have given each of us directors control and just said, record your scene. Just record it and then send it to me. Fuck.
They're WebM or WebM.
You need to convert them afterwards.
So it's challenging because they also have variable resolutions. But in a pinch, they let you record a show. Yeah,
crazy, man.
All right, so this is the director mode. This is the room that we joined. There's the director's view, and then there's the scenes. This is kind of a really central concept to OBS, a Ninja. Very, very central concept, and probably the best way to use it. And by the way, you can use a room just as a replacement for another video chat, because it simply works. You give that other person the same link, room equals something, and they will be with you in a room and they can talk to you. So not just for including it in a production, but also to have a chat with your friends. And that goes browser to browser, not through some big corporate.
You could use this as a telephone, dude, if you really wanted to. If you wanted to just call your mates in another country, you could just use this. Fuck, who needs a phone service, man? Forget your Telstra and Optus in Australia, or your Verizon and AT&T. Just use this
server. So I think that's a definite bonus, and I'm using it for that.
Damn,
so,
dude.
I guess that's enough for.
Here comes episode 3.
Lesson 3. OBS
It's way more private. No middleman with prying eyes, theoretically. Yeah, man, dude. Yeah. Wow.
Ninja. I'm Chris. This is Steve.
Hey.
And I'm in Germany, and Steve is in Toronto, Canada. So what did we learn so far? We did a basic setup thing. We talked about rooms in the last episode, which I think is worth just reiterating a bit. A room is where multiple guests join, and they can use it just to talk to each other and see each other, like Zoom or anything else, pretty much. I said the Z word. Anyway. But
them's fighting words around here.
The room also adds the ability for a director to use different of these guests in a scene, and to pull solo links into a production in OBS or whatever switcher you want to use. So the room is a really central concept, a really important concept. So I would think use the rooms, get familiar with them. If you have no idea what this is about, go back to the second lesson, because it is important.
You can tell Steve hasn't been sleeping. He always looks like that. He works so hard. If this is all free, so what's his main gig then? Where's he getting his cash from? I mean, he must have software that's paid usage as well, not just this free one.
But having that said, there is also another way to use OBS, and we're going to demonstrate that in a one-on-one fashion. Okay, I'm in Germany.
I honestly don't know. He could get a job anyway. He probably does. For all we know, he could be like someone behind something that we all pay for and use. You know, he could be a big, for all we know.
You're in Canada, and we want to have a little chat, and we don't want to use a room for whatever reason. We can make OBS Ninja. Well, we can create, I think you call it a fake room, right? It's
a faux room, a fake room, yeah.
A faux room. And let's just go to the browsers. Left browser is mine, and the right browser is yours. And I will set up a push link with, we did this in the first lesson, OBS Ninja /push equals my secret ID. And then you would send up view equals my secret ID, but then I will add another option here, another parameter, which is a view equals Steve in Canada.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let me change that first one to Chris in Germany and Steve in Canada. So Steve on his side would go and view Chris in Germany and push Steve in Canada, and I will push Chris in Germany and view Steve in Canada, and that's what I'm doing. So OBS Ninja is creating a room without the whole room magic behind it, and there we go. And that is pretty awesome, I think.
So that's just an example of how to do it super simply. Like, dude, it's even got the telephone and whatnot there. Yeah.
I think we can. I think this is the point to introduce two more things. The first thing is you could make this into more people. So we have a view equals Steve in Canada on my side, but I could have a view equals Steve in Canada, comma, Jack in France. And if Jack in France is sending their stream under that ID, that would just add that third person to the room.
I don't understand how one guy made this whole thing. Blows my mind. Yeah, like, okay, so yeah, it's super detailed and it's answering a lot of questions people might have. But this particular point that they're highlighting, why would someone use this and not the other way? Like, the other way seems more intuitive. It's got the director's area, the waiting room, if you like. Whereas this just looks like, I mean, I guess if you're not going to stream it, if you're just doing it for a call between your mates, this is probably the way to do it. But Yeah, I don't know. If I was Steve, I would have made this, but I just wouldn't have. I don't know. It seems like this is doubling up. This would be if you just want to do a direct call with friends without advanced controls. Yeah. I can see. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's probably simple enough for him to have implemented this bit into it because it's already there, but I just can't see someone using it before and saying, we need this other feature where it's a dumbed down version of it. I just can't see. I could see it going the other way where it's like, it's too dumbed down and we need more features. Maybe that's how this came about. This was the original and then it went up to the rooms and everything. I don't know.
I have to add them as a view.
Let's leave that out. It's just the explanation of the concept. But you get the idea. You can view multiple streams at the same time.
Is Chris involved with this? I mean, Steve is obviously the guy who made it all, but is Chris like also involved?
I'm in this one view. So you are pretty much creating your own scene this way.
You'd be amazed. I really see him saying no in Discord to request a couple of days later, and there's a new crazy feature. Far out, dude. Wow. Crazy.
And that is pretty awesome. I like that.
So you can list view IDs?
Yep.
So you list it with like a comma?
Yep. View equals ID1, ID2, ID3, and so on. So build your own scene, and that gives you a lot of power, a lot of flexibility, a lot of control. And then when it comes to these kind of things, I like control. I like to be in charge of things. So this is the first concept. The second concept is, and I think this is the time to introduce additional parameters. And one parameter is the video bitrate. So
Swish.
You as the viewer get to decide how much data you want to pull from the other side.
Whoa. As the viewer. Okay.
Let's add this additional parameter.
So not the host.
Video bitrate equals, and let's make this really crummy here, 100 kilobits per second. That's kilobits per second. That's a tenth of a megabit per second, what I'm pulling. And if I do
I'm not sure if German guy is involved or just giving him exposure. Steve isn't great at marketing himself. Yeah, he reminds me of Elon. He's not a very good public speaker. Okay, but this is interesting. If you can... Wait, he's on the push side though. He's controlling the bitrate from the push side. That's not the viewer, that's the director.
I'll have to rejoin. I'm just refreshing this whole thing. So I'll share my camera again. I click on start, and now have a look at Steve's video quality. Well, it's actually surprisingly good.
It's not too bad.
But I mean, you can see him all blurry, and the bitrate is, and the frame rate is kind of down. And if I crank this up to, let's go 3,000, 3 megabits per second. So I'm reloading this whole view.
You can control it from either end. Yeah, okay. It's just that he said as the viewer, but then he did it at the push end. But I get you. It's both ends.
Now a room, so I'll have to reshare my camera. And if I do that, it takes a second, and then here we go.
Wait for the bitrate to
Here we
climb
are.
up.
Much better quality. So that's how you do video bit rates, and there's a whole bunch. We'll do
3 meg's not that great. 7 or 8.
Entire episode on its own about parameters and where they go and on which side they go, because some of them are on the viewer side, some of them are on the pusher side, some of them are on both sides. So I think it helps to do a bit about that, but that's kind of the concept. Add additional parameters to gain additional control over what you see or what you show.
Crazy, man.
Make sense?
Cool. Yeah. Is there a reason why someone would use this over the room?
Makes you...
Steve, you created it. You created it, dude. And you're asking the question I asked a little while ago. He asked exactly what I just said.
Is there a reason why someone would use this over the room?
Makes you feel more powerful. I don't know.
Makes you feel more powerful. Flowski, if it's just a talking head with a still background, doesn't need a huge bit, right? Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Yeah, if it's on a green screen, yeah, I get you. Yeah.
It is possible, right? It is definitely possible. So you could do it this way.
Yeah. Well, the main reason I could think of is the room has some restrictions on it to make it more user-friendly. It limits bit rates to around 300 kilobits per stream, and you cannot override that as a guest.
Good.
iOS devices come in as audio only in a room, and that's a limitation with iOS devices. And
Ooh, I wonder if all that's changed. I mean, you'd know about that. Oh, do you use an iPhone, Flo?
Your own setup like this, you can bypass those limitations. But you're right. Power users would want this over the room.
So here's your power user feature with control over everything, but it also means you can mess things up much easier. So if you pull too high of a bit rate or get the wrong parameters there, you could as well create a video stream that doesn't work, or something that makes it worse. So the room is trying to keep that in check, but
I think that's probably changed. I'm on Android. So yeah.
That's how we did.
Oh, you don't use it for the rooms. Yeah,
I think that's enough for this lesson.
Here we go. Episode 4.
And we're back with lesson number 4.
Adding video in. So this is a shared screen. Okay, sick.
OBS Ninja. I'm Chris. And
I'm Steve.
No, this side, Steve. See, I'm getting it wrong. Yeah. Nope, wrong side. So I'm in Germany. Steve is in Canada, and we use OBS Ninja to talk to each other. And as you see, it looks good. Quality is there. The latency is cool. So we don't have too much delay between each other when we talk. And that's, for me, that's the power of OBS Ninja. It enables video productions of in a web browser pretty much. And it's a cool tool. It's a really cool tool. Thanks for making this.
Hey, thank you.
And thanks for improving it over time. So we are.
Yeah, wow. He really struggles with applause. He didn't like having to. I'm going to thank this guy before I've even used it. Thank you, man. I haven't even touched this yet, but man, I'm thanking you just from watching what you've done here. It's incredible.
We have talked about the basic concepts, how to get video from one browser to the other. We talked about.
And by the way, if this is someone creating it, why isn't this a feature in OBS already? Like just straight up usage in OBS. Like you should be able to just do all this. I mean, okay, I don't know. I don't want to downplay what this Steve guy's done for everybody, but if someone can just create it, why wasn't it created already? I guess. He's insanely humble and generous. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, dude. I just noted the way he responded to that applause. He didn't look quite comfortable.
It's a cool tool. It's a really cool tool. Thanks for making this.
Hey, thank you.
And thanks for improving it over time. So
some people are like that, and I'm not throwing shade at him at all. Like, yeah, sometimes it's I don't know. Like sometimes you don't want. It's weird to say, but sometimes you don't want people to be applauding you. You just want people to just get on and use the thing or do the thing, and then yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah. Flowski, OBS in recent versions has incorporated WebRTC features, which is the tech that is written with. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. I'm kind of the same way, mega introverted, and I don't like applause. Yeah, I was just trying to think back to like my skateboarding era when you do something good and people applaud you and like really applaud you. Sometimes I'm not saying it happened all that often, but I'm just saying like sometimes you're like, okay, cool, let's just all keep skating and whatever. But yeah, I don't know, bad example, but I'm just saying I've just noticed it.
We have talked about the basic concepts, how to get video from one browser to the other. We talked about rooms, very important. Again, lesson number 2. We created what we call the power user room, which is a directorless room that doesn't do anything automatic, where you have where you pull the shots and you set the parameters. Well, still in the future, we have an episode where we talk about parameters, which are like, that's where the whole magic starts. This is where it becomes really, really interesting for someone who likes to play with these things. But now we want to finally bring OBS into the picture. Now, OBS is that video switcher.
Hey, just a second hey, sorry guys, I wasn't looking at the Beam chat. I see Mr. B and Redditonian over there. Brett, sorry, dude. I bought Trump at 70. Yeah, it's I won't talk about it today, but we can talk about it another time. Netski's there as well. Yeah, this is a YouTube stream. Sorry, folks. I should have said. I didn't see the Beam chat. Sorry, I'm too busy frothing at this.
And it's open source, and it's on Windows, and it's on the Mac. It does work better on Windows. I must say, I'm a Mac user, so I kind of have this longing look over the...
You can tell this is 4 years ago. OBS now works on a Mac flawlessly and has done for quite a while. But certainly in the early days, OBS was way better on a Windows. And people ask me about streaming. I said, if you haven't got a computer and you're thinking of streaming, get a PC because you're going to use OBS. Now I would say, hell no. Get an Apple, get a Mac if you can afford it with the Apple Silicon, and you are good to go. You could even get the basic MacBook Air. As long as it's got Apple Silicon, you are good to go with OBS and streaming for sure.
Pond at Steve's computer with Windows on it, but that's the way it is. So, and today we want to show how you add OBS.Ninja to OBS. And to do that, we've set up a room.
Browser source.
And you can see that room on the left side of the screen. So here we are, both in that one room. And there could be 3, 4, 5 guests in there. So for a little production, a little Twitch stream or something, you could have all your friends there, and maybe their shared screens and things. So you can
hey, Dalsky! Dalsky, how you doing, man? What to do? We're doing a YouTube stream looking at how to get, we're looking at this free software or browser-based software called VDO.Ninja, which is going to allow us to do call-ins way easier and way more effectively when we get back to doing them, which will be soonish. I'm going to implement that into my Beam streams, and we'll go from there. We're learning about it today.
And then you could set up a scene. We talked about the scenes, and which one is the one where you get to direct, where you get to add things as a director? The scene equals 1, right?
Yep. Scene 1 gives you control over who's in and who's not in the video.
Okay, so what we want to do here is add scene 1 to OBS. Now,
it's not actually a YouTube stream. Give just set up a filter to only show messages from me, Flowski. Yeah, Flowski's the only one here on YouTube with me. But I really appreciate you being here, Flo.
On the right-hand side, that is Steve's screen with OBS. And in OBS, what you would do is you'd add a browser source, which is the part that doesn't work on the Mac because OBS is kind of halfway broken on the Mac. But
it'll be fixed eventually.
If someone from OBS listens, hey, I'd love to have a working...
That's right. Yeah, in the early days, the browser source and the display capture just brought up a black screen. That's right. I remember those days.
Browser source. But there's a workaround.
There he is, Dalsky. How you doing, man?
About that. So,
how you doing, man? That Flo is a rascal.
So what have you done now? You have added a browser source, and that's the default picture that you get. And in the URL for the browser source,
I can take a break now. Dale can take over.
The scene, the OBS scene for that room.
So Dale, just a side note here, just to fill you in. What I did this stream on YouTube, and I started off thinking about, because you and I have done panels many times on my channel, and you probably didn't even you knew, of course, but I was using Restream and then stopped using it when BeamStream came about. And I now don't have the feature or the functionality that I used to have to do the panel discussions like I used to. And so, and as you could tell from, we did one just recently, and it was a little clunky, out to change stuff around, blah, 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 blah. I was asking the question, someone said, I think it was Flo said, you can use Discord for video chats. So I did this stream where I'm talking about how do you use Discord for video chats in OBS? And that's what this began as. And I had up these 3 different videos that I was looking through to get the concept down. And in one of the videos, someone started talking about this program called OBS.Ninja. No. It's called VDO.Ninja, VDO.Ninja. And so what we're doing here is we're looking into exactly how that works. All of this is just so that we can see blue static on panels again. It's true. All of this tech and all of this beautiful software that's been freely provided by this generous Canadian, it's just so that we can get a blue screen of static up there. That is pretty funny, actually.
that allows you control.
Right. So we have OBS Ninja, scene equals 1, and the room equals secret 1000, the name of our room. We select width and height to be whatever aspect ratio we want. In this case, 1920 by 10.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get some better blue static, dude. We can see you in all the glory, you know.
And the scene will automatically try to fit all the videos to that.
Yeah, basically my current background is what. Yeah, I should send you that file, Dale. I should just. Oh no, in this software, can't I choose his camera? I can choose his audio, can't I? You can't. Do you know, Flowski? Do you know if I can choose the camera for the guest? Because I could just put up that background as a camera for him.
Resolution and aspect ratio. And then on Windows to capture audio, we can just click Control Audio via OBS.
So all the selected guests plus their audio will be in that one scene.
Absolutely. As soon as they're added, their audio will show up. And that's all we need to worry about. And when we hit OK.
Good question. Not sure about that. You could do that in OBS though. Yeah. You'd have to manually put the thing over the top though, which would be confusing if more guests join. It would then butt it all around.
It's going to start empty because we talked about requiring manually addition.
Yeah, if you go to lesson 2, we explained this in detail. So you'll see how to add people to that scene. There's a button under each person in the director's room. And if you click one, can you do that? Then that one person will show up from that room. And if you click the second one, you add the second one. There we go. And you can add and remove them as you like. And their audio will be added and removed as you like. So I've muted my audio. If I unmute my audio, you should even see it move. Yeah, there you go. Under, you see the audio meter moving when I talk.
This is very interesting. Dale, I got to tell you, man, this has blown me away for what it does, for how much it costs. Spoiler, it costs nothing. It's free. I have to watch the full replay. You don't have to watch the full. When we first discovered it was during one of the videos that I pulled up to learn about it, and we've just dug deep into it since then. And I'm pretty excited to get it rolling properly.
I'll mute it.
Yo, Mr. B, how you doing, man? Go to watch that Dale guy. Got to watch him. How you doing, man?
So you're muted, I think now.
Yep, you muted me in the director's room.
Yep. So now I muted you, and now you can see
full
the audio.
Control.
Yeah, you can do volume and other aspects like that.
Yeah, Flo, it's kind of techie for an average user, but for those with some know-how, way better than Zoom or Discord. For sure, man. I'm not touching Discord. I'm going to retitle this stream. At the end, I'll say, spoiler alert, no, don't use that. Just use VDO.Ninja.
And that's pretty much how you add an entire OBS Ninja scene into OBS on Windows.
By the way, this is an old video, Dale, we're watching. This is from 4 years ago. They used to be called OBS Ninja. Now it's called VDO.Ninja. VDO.Ninja.
And I think that's pretty cool. It's a very powerful thing. Yeah, and then in OBS, of course, you can place it, change it, add a backdrop, and whatever you want to do in terms of switching. And if you don't want that individual scene, that scene with all the sources in there, if you want to have even more control, then in the director's room, again, lesson 2, we showed that there's a solo link for each of the participants, and you could just add a browser source with that solo link. And can you set one up? Is that your solo link? There you go.
So on Windows, you can actually just drag directly from the director's room in.
Drag and drop into OBS, and it pops up as its own source.
And it will automatically populate all the values you need.
I didn't know that.
So you don't have to manually enter those values. What you do need to do, though, is just make sure you capture the audio for that source if you do that. But
I didn't know you could just drag and drop into OBS. That's cool.
The solo scene is pretty simple. It just essentially has the stream ID that we're capturing appended, and that prevents any other videos from showing up.
There you go. Awesome. So I think that's enough for this very short little episode, because you don't really need to say more. I think the one thing that is important to note is, again, if you want the audio to also show up in OBS, you have to check a box when adding, what's it called? OBS controls audio or something?
Yeah, control audio via OBS.
Yeah. That's kind of the important thing. Again, different on Mac. We'll get to that in a future episode.
Here comes the next episode.
I think that
pulling multiple streams.
Welcome back. This is lesson 5 of your Start with OBS Ninja. I'm Chris, and there's Steve.
He keeps pointing the wrong way.
Steve in Canada, Chris in Germany. So, yeah, we have already given you 4 other lessons about the concepts behind OBS Ninja and how you can transport video and audio from one browser to the other anywhere in the world quickly, low latency, high quality. And high quality, by the way, not just the video, the audio. I'm a podcaster of like 15 years, and audio is really, really, really important for me. So
you think he's got his flipped layers? Yeah, true. Yeah. Dalesky, I was in a real fun panel recently. Suki was there as well, and MD Wit, dude. I'll be honest, man. We haven't done panels in quite a while. I've missed those days. A lot of that's my fault, like I've obviously dropped back with a lot of my streaming. But this will, dude, this will change all that. And I'm just thinking, will this be able to be used in the field? Only if it's got an RTMP. Yeah, okay, cancel that. Yeah, and we'll get back into that. We'll get back into panels, of course.
To pull an audio stream from someone at studio quality is just mind-boggling, and it's really awesome if you want to even just do audio recordings. So today I want to show you a concept that blew my mind when I found out about it first, and I see a lot of people in the Discord. There's like a whole there's a GitHub and there's a Discord where people talk about OBS Ninja and have questions and so on. And I see people's minds blown when they figure out this concept, and it is that you can just pull.
Can you add sources such as browser overlays with your LiveView Solo? No, you can only bring in an HDMI or an SDI video source. So theoretically, and I did try this back in the day when I started my streaming from Steve Van days, I did take my laptop with me, had it set up on my car seat, and then I would feed HDMI output from the laptop using projector, something in OBS, projector display or something, projector output, projector, something like that. And that would then go into the HDMI source, into the LiveView Solo. And that was kind of a way to do that. But again, then you got to take your laptop with you. The reason I got the LiveView Solo originally was to not have to have a laptop with me while I was IRL streaming. But yeah, those kind of questions I definitely investigated, and I bought like a whole bunch of stuff. Like I bought like in an audio, HDMI audio inserters. I bought these up-down cross converters for HDMI signals to add blah, blah, blah. I bought these switches. I bought all this stuff that I thought would be totally usable, and ultimately ended up just getting a LiveView Solo, and it fixed everything. But I enjoyed the ride to get to where I am. You'd laugh if you saw all the crap gear I tried. You'd laugh at this. When I first wanted to do IRL streams, I wanted to go outside here, just off the edge of my property is the ocean. I didn't know how to get my camera away from OBS, so I bought 50 feet of HDMI cable and just took the camera, plugged it into one end, and then just walked it out there. And just sat out there with all this cable. Let me tell you, man, I've tried it all, hey. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with all that braided HDMI cable. Nice, yeah. We've been there, we've tried everything. Now we're getting to something incredibly exciting.
Multiple different
I think
video
anyway.
or audio streams from the same source at the same time.
Yeah.
Now hold
So-
on. I got so carried away in what I was saying, I didn't hear what he just said.
Pull multiple different Ninja and have questions and so on. And I see people's minds blown when they figure out this concept. And it is that you can just pull multiple different video or audio streams from the same source at the same time.
Yeah, okay. Multiple sources. Sick.
Yeah.
So,
Change from RTMP for sure.
I mean, what does that mean?
What did he just say? Send them to RTMP.
So,
Change from RTMP for sure.
He said sending them to RTMP, didn't he? I want him to have said that.
Yeah.
so
Change from RTMP for sure.
He definitely said RTMP, but I didn't hear the first word. It could have been pertaining to.
I mean, what does that mean? Okay, let me show you. So we have an OBS Ninja stream going. Steve in Canada is the ID, and I am pulling you in. So yeah, there you go. In this big browser window here, you can see Steve, and this is a video stream and an audio stream. So far, so good. Now, by default, the audio comes out to whichever output device I've set up for the system. That's what Google outputs to. So in that case, that would be my speakers and my main audio device. But if I want that to go somewhere else, I have choice. And the choice is by using Electron. Just 3 words about what is Electron.
Here we go, Flo. He's going to use Electron here. Here we go.
Tell me.
Oh, the
Sorry
Electron
for putting you on
capture
the
app
spot
was a solution to the lack of proper OBS support for Mac. Browser support within OBS is a little bit lacking. This is
A little bit is putting it mildly.
See, this is what I was saying before. I don't have any need for this Electron software, but like I said, 4 or 5 years ago, when you were trying to use a Mac to do this, this is exactly what I said. This is why he created this, and it's 4 years past this upload date, so we now don't need to use it. But man, he answered someone's needs back then with this. That's cool.
There is no real browser support in OBS on Mac for OBS Ninja. So
Don't forget, this is 4 years old. Now there is, and OBS works fine on a Mac, but back then didn't.
yeah. So the Electron app is kind of a
way to let Mac users capture video using a browser that's clean and as easy as I could think of. Until at least OBS fixes the issues,
which they hopefully will soon. I'll open some champagne if they do.
Right on, Flowski. Even now, though, it uses less resources with a smoother playback, so people with tons of effects and scenes or gaming can still be helpful for sure. And I mean, I'm just being not selfish, but I'm just being, like on a Mac with the Apple Silicon, they're so overpowered that we never have any issues anymore. But sure, if you do, yeah, absolutely.
So, the Electron app, this is a concept that you will come across more often in the future. And it comes in 2 flavors. And I think that's important to show you here. The first flavor is as its own full-blown app. And we'll look in this later. But there's also the Electron browser version, I would call it. And let me show that to you, because it really helps if we show this to you and what it does. So let me open it. It's obs.ninja/Electron. And you get this wonderful looking screen with a big input box in the middle and some check boxes and an audio output destination selector. This is where the magic is. So let me paste into here, and I'm just deleting everything. I'll paste in the same view equals Steve in Canada URL. So
now it's called Electron Capture. Okay, cool.
We want to open that, but I want the audio from that thing to go to a different audio device. Now, the way I set up my Mac is that I have Loopback running, which is a virtual audio device creator. There's free ones. There's Black Hole. I think there's still Soundflower out there.
Soundflower, I remember
But
Soundflower.
I have a whole bunch of audio output devices, and let me just say I want this to go to my virtual device SL1. And it does something here to the parameters. We don't really have to go into too much detail about it. It adds a sync equals and then a very long hex number, just kind of an identifier for that audio output. And then I click go. And again, I will see Steve's stream, the one that he shared to me earlier. But now the audio will go out to my virtual device, to SL1.
Hold on a second. What did he just do? He just used a browser. He used a browser to take audio into loopback individually. Now, the benefit of that I'm just going to stop him there because I'm going to bring over my loopback here. So I've already got loopback up and running, and it's running perfectly without any issues. But if I was to bring in audio from VDO.Ninja, why wouldn't I just bring it in through that browser? I've got Brave Audio. You probably can't see these, and unfortunately I can't zoom in on them, but the top left one is Brave Audio, then Chrome, Final Cut Pro, Firefox, and then there's some other ones that I've set up. But why wouldn't I just bring in the browser audio source into loopback? Why would I need to bring in the individual Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to think what the benefit of that would be. The benefit would be you could get individual virtual audio interfaces that then you could add into OBS. But you could also do that the way I suggested earlier and just bring in the room with the audio and just not use the video, just use the audio. Right. Sorry, Flowski, you're right. Probably because this was 4 years ago, I don't think some of the options were powerful enough back. Yeah, you're dead right. I should just allow this to happen and not froth over it so much because I thought I was missing something. I thought I was missing something important. I'm just going to put my loop back over here again. Actually, I don't even need it. I had that open. By the way, this is a rad thing about loopback. I had this open because I thought we were going to be using Discord and I was going to have to route some audio, but you don't even need it. You don't even need the app there. You can quit the app and loopback still works in the background. So continue on. My bad.
This way I can capture his audio somewhere else. So far so good.
I do like that because it does mean you can individually take audio from each subject of the chat of the panel and pump them through your audio interface. I get why you might do that. On Windows, you don't even need loopback. It kind of magically works straight in OBS. Dude, Windows and audio, funnily enough, the Mac, get this. The Macintosh computer from Apple, for a long while, the most used desktop hardware for audio recording, for recording bands, right? For recording music, Apple was the go-to. Logic, right? The DAW, the digital audio workstation law. The law says the digital audio workstation, Apple Logic, was the hands down go-to. That's wonderful for bringing audio in, like multiple guitars and bass and drums and all that stuff, and bringing it in and setting it up and processing it and bussing it and all that cool stuff and making a band, making it all happen. But the moment you tried to take audio from inside the Mac, like from a browser or from like a Zoom call or from like Ecamm or anything, the moment you tried to do that and then do anything with the audio, the Mac just went, can't do that shit. So that's why someone, Rogue Amoeba, invented loopback, which is what you just saw. It's a visually beautifully displayed virtual rack that you can plug audio in and out and put it anywhere you want, which, yes, to this day, that shit just happens on a PC. It just works. On a Mac, it's never worked. Never. And it's always been like, that's weird, right? Macs and audio for bands, it's always the go-to. It's the machine, right? Pro Tools, it's right there. And then it's like, yeah, but if you don't need to record it, you just need to do stuff with it. I like that loopback exists, but it's baffling that Apple's never sussed that out from their. Who cares? We've got loopback. It works.
Now let me add a second stream, because that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about pulling multiple streams from the same browser. And let's say I'm pulling this SL1 virtual device audio thing and Steve for, I don't know, some recording somewhere. It doesn't even have to be OBS, can be anywhere. But then in addition, because I'm recording my high audio quality podcast, I want to pull an additional stream just for my podcast recording. And this is where I could, for example, use here, the Electron app. That's the app. It's just a window pretty much. And what I want to do is I want to pull the exact same thing. View equals Steve Canada. I will, now let me move this right over your face. This doesn't matter. Let me pull this one into.
Windows has similar issues, actually. Many people use virtual cable apps like Voice Meter, which is kind of like loopback. Okay. I'm illiterate when it comes to the Windows machines. Meanwhile, Gibbs is dropping the damn ball, missing my fool comments. Did you call me a fool? I'm the court jester from old days, also known as the fool. Have to be the fool. I like it.
SL2. And now I want to add in a little additional parameter. We already talked about the video bitrate parameter, but I want this to be really good audio. So I am going to add the audio bitrate parameter equals, well, let's do 256.
Ooh, 256.
And if I start
you called
that,
yourself a fool. Well, hello, MD Wit. Hello, MD. How are you? Just coming in to call Dale a fool, were you? Cool. We need to get Dale get nerdy so he can be the new salesperson for VDO.Ninja. Study up, Dale.
We'll now pull an additional stream, an additional audio stream over to, there we go, over to this app, which is, by the way, also like a frameless window. So if you're on another system and you want to screen grab this one, that's a good way to do it, because it is frameless and it is, you can set it to be always on top and so on. We'll do an entire episode about this.
I'm doing well too, MD. Thank you for asking. Doing very well.
If I don't need his video on that one, because I'm now pulling 2 video streams and 2 audio streams, I'll just add another parameter. So there is my audio bit rate equals 256 and no video. And I'll direct this again to my SL2 device. And now it's pulling audio and not video. So I can mix and match my different streams. Let me get this out of the way so we can see Steve again. Here we go. I can mix and match.
Yeah, there's so much feature there. It's so deep and rich, this software.
Streams, I can mix and match where I pull things into which direction. I can have several different video feeds from the same stream. I can have several different video streams from the same browser, 7 different audio streams to send them to different destinations. And it's all pretty much limited by what the sending system can do networking wise, encoding wise, and what the entire throughput gives you. Does that cover it? Does that
Right.
Did I miss anything important?
I don't think so. You can have multiple Electron windows open. And yeah, it does have some use on Windows as well.
You can use it on Windows if you want. Yo, Holy Squirrel over on Twitch. How you doing? You're an Australian? That's what you are? Yes, I am.
Because OBS on Windows still isn't necessarily as good as the Electron Capture app with capturing certain videos.
Just dipping as a hamster?
Windows users might still find it useful.
So we'll do an entire episode just about the Electron Capture app.
Comtech would love this techie stuff. Comtech, he's down for the tech, isn't he?
I think the important concept is you can pull more than one stream from the same source, and that gives you flexibility, and that opens up the whole world in so many different ways. I mean, as an example, and we'll do a use case episode about that. I do a podcast with 3 guests, so it's 4 of us talking, and we use a room and we talk to each other. But at the same time, I pull high quality audio from each of them for a separate recording. So
that's the
it opens up so many possibilities as a production
tool. That's the last
tool.
one out of the episode 5. Getting started. Windows versus Mac. Episode 7. It's obsolete. I don't want to watch this because so much has changed. Where's the original podcast here? Adding a wireless to a DJI controller. No, that's it. Okay. Well, that's it, dudes. We've got to the end of where we needed to get to. VDO.Ninja. It's something I'm definitely going to use 100%. But what I want to do right now, before we wrap this stream up, I want to just check out this virtual camera feature. Have you guys noticed this in OBS? There is a start virtual camera button. It's pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 selections down in the list, and it's right there. And I think it's important that I just check out what that actually does so that we can feel like we're going to use it at some point. Because when I start using this software, I'm going to be sending a virtual camera to that room. And I want it to include all the OBS stuff. So I'm going to click it right now. Actually, there's a settings tab next to it. Program, output type, program, default, preview, scene, or source. Output selection, no selection. Preview, no selection. Scene, blank scene, okay. Output type scene, okay, cool. Source. Output, you want to choose scene, right? You want to choose scene. It's super easy. Just start virtual camera and it should show up as a camera in a browser for VDO.Ninja to pick up on. Yeah. So I'm just thinking about this in a logical sense. You would want to set up a scene that uses just your camera. I'll just try it first here, and I'll just use that scene. Okay, I don't think you guys are going to see any difference here. Oh, okay, so it doesn't come up over the top anywhere. I don't see a virtual camera. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought that it would. I thought there'd be a floating window that comes up. Wait, hang on, I didn't start it. Here I go. OBS wants to make changes. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. It did, Flowski. It just happens behind the scenes. It didn't happen behind the scene because I didn't actually hit start. I just chose the options and then just thought that was starting. But now it's started. And is there there's no window drop down menu for it? No, I don't think so. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's just there. Okay. Cool, man. Multi-view windowed. Yeah, okay. Then can I change it during? Yeah. Now when you look at your list of cameras, I haven't even gone to VDO.Ninja yet though. I mean, this is Firefox. I mean, we're not going to use Firefox, but VDO.Ninja. I'll just try it here. Create a room. We'll just call it just a mash of. Oops, a mash of okay. A mash. 09. Preferred video codec. Oh wow, you get to choose the codec. 264. Enter the room's control center to directors. Okay. Okay. I'm just seeing how this all works. Guest 1. Wait a second. Enable director's microphone. Where's my microphone? Oh yeah. Yep. Okay. Allow VDO.Ninja to use your microphone. M6. Yes. It's going to use my capture card. Yes. Yes. Okay, so there's my... I'm just doing this as a test, by the way. Oh, wow. That's interesting. My, what happened to my audio, my, visuals there? That's weird. In my stream, it just reset my camera. That's weird. See what it did there to my... That's weird. I don't know why I did that. I fixed it, but so if I go to... That was weird. Yeah, I don't know. That could be an OBS glitch, but anyway, go to my room here. Is that it? Your audio is scrambled. Oh, you know why? Tell me if that fixed the audio. I mean, I think what's happening there is I haven't set this up and it's pulling in all kinds of different audios through loopback and stuff. So gives audio static. So is it back to normal now? It's fixed. Yeah. So that was in Firefox. I was just doing it. I was doing it literally just to see the virtual camera, but I won't even touch it at this stage until we come in to actually use it. So I can stop the virtual camera. Yeah, I'll just stop it. Yeah, cool. Hey dudes, I just as a wrap up here to this stream, the answer to the question, can you use Discord for panel discussions in OBS? The answer is yeah, you can. The deeper answer is you probably wouldn't want to though. Just use VDO.Ninja, VDO.Ninja. Now, that's after having seen all that. I haven't tried it yet, but there's no reason why it won't work for us. We've seen all the documentation. I've joined the Discord. We understand what this software does. Thank you to Steve for the creation of this thing. I can't believe it's free. It seems like it's answering so many questions that so many streamers will have. Definitely, it's answered a whole bunch of my questions, and I will be tinkering with it tonight for myself, and then tomorrow I'm down for a panel discussion if anyone wants to join me using it. We'll do a beam stream. We'll set it all up. Be the first time we've ever used it, and we'll do it if you're down for it. So Flosky says, hopefully it's not a total destructive thing with your setup. That would be unfortunate. Nah, dude, it's browser based, man. How can it mess anything up? I just have to set up my virtual camera and my virtual audio, and we'll test it with music and stuff, and we'll work. It'll be fun. Unless you're less tech savvy, then Discord is still a good option. Okay, well I'm gonna retitle the title of this stream, and I'm gonna include that we discovered upon VDO.Ninja, and I'm so thankful for that. So thanks everybody who's here at the end here, MD and Flowski and Dale, and well, Flowski's been here the whole time. I'm out of here now, though. I'll see you all tomorrow for a panel discussion. What a great idea.